What's up, guys? Yeah, that was my plan for Living Legend. When I saw the format was like basically broken and just kind of unplayable, I just stopped testing for the format and started complaining instead. Because surely they'll change something in the format before Worlds. I was like, I'm not going to bother testing this format. Surely they ban something. Hello, gamers. How y'all doing? Today was an exciting day for anyone that's terminally online. We're going to yap about that some more later. I'm going to wait for my guest to appear. Cody should be joining us around 8:30, which is about an hour from now. Maybe, but we'll see. He might end up getting busy and not join, but he said he wanted to join. So we thought we'd yap a bit about some of the stuff that's happened recently and watch some of these gravy games together. Hard capping how long I'm streaming tonight, though. I was planning on doing some testing with one of my teammates around 10, so I'm going to be streaming for the next like 2.5 hours. The plan is get through these two gravy games from the calling, kind of review these. We got some good players here to watch their games, which is going to be nice. I'm pretty interested in this one with Jacob because he's been on the gravy train, so now to see him on the other side, I'm pretty curious to see how he navigates the matchup. This is going to be especially interesting. And I haven't actually seen a gravy game from Fang in quite a while. I think the last one we watched was from that Battle Harden before the Pro Tour. Could be wrong on that, but so I'm looking forward to seeing this. It's always nice watching his games. Very technical player. I always enjoy Michael's games. It's very methodical. He, I would say, draws below average in the majority of his games and navigates to victory. So it's always nice seeing how he navigates those games. Hey, man, what's up? So let's just jump into it. So we got Gravy versus Verdance. Would help if you guys could see what I'm talking about, huh? Professional streamer. Where the heck is Chrome? There it is. There we go. I forgot I was on just big face cam.
So at the start of the format, that's how it started to evolve. However, with the addition of Light Up the Leaves, an additional 6 power spell, and also with the way that
there was kind of some tea today. It was like it ended up being fake news. We're gonna yap about it more later when Cody joins, so we can just kind of complain about things together. It'll be more entertaining that way. Just like be patient, chat. Hey Martin, what's up? Have fun at your armory. Yeah, we're gonna yap about it when Cody comes on. But the TLDR was people realized that this had always been the case, that you could rewind targeting a non-attack action anywhere, basically. It could be a resolved permanent, it could be a blocking card. It didn't have to be on the stack. And the way it worked is, I'm poorly explaining this, but you basically tried to resolve as much of rewind as you possibly could. So you couldn't negate the card because it wasn't on it wasn't a card that's resolving as a layer or anything like that. So you would skip the negate part and then attempt to resolve the rest of the card. So you would bounce the card and then your opponent would gain an action point. But you could do other things with it, like let me bounce my my channel Millennium Tree thing back to my hand after resolving the amp. You could bounce a blocking card so that way your Command and Conquer hit. It was just like a 1-cost route at blue. It was like, what are we doing here? You could bounce, and this is what caused me to initially crash out. You could bounce an attacking ally. Yeah, well, watch the VOD later. Don't worry about it. Thanks for joining, Andrew. Yeah. You could already do that. You could already, like, as everyone interpreted the card originally, you could still play this targeting allies, but it was attempt to play the ally, rewind it. Let the ally resolve and then attack with the ally, then I'll rewind. That's a whole nother ballgame. That's cringe. But we're not going to yap about that anymore. I'm going to wait for Cody to get on, and then we'll talk about it then.
Both decks have started to sort of change their approach to it. I think the general consensus has been it's getting a little bit closer to even.
If you don't think that's a crazy reaction, you're just wrong.
Some interesting choices in the
It's
equipment
fucked up.
suite here. Balance of Justice available for Jacob to draw some additional cards there. Arcane Barrier 2.
Can you DM me the link to that Battle Harden?
Certainly help when you're staring down a Rampant Growth to Burn Bear on the first turn of the game.
Yeah, and you have 3 Rampant Growths in the deck without having Plume of Evergrowth available in the deck anymore. It means you don't need to use them all on one.
No plum wine today. It's just
so getting that amped Burn Bear
cranberry juice and ginger ale.
Getting even just
so I still have
point of life could make or
the
break
plum wine for my birthday in the fridge.
A great turn 0 for him. Happy to take that 6 life lead already. Good stuff.
Gotta finish that off at some point. Gotta buy some more at some point. I'm down to like 3 bottles.
We'll see the saltwater swell. Too many S's in this deck. Pitching away that blue copy of Tip the Barkeep that was found on top with the compass. 3 points.
Is that a sunken treasure he pitched?
Antonio, the Barkeep, the swell. Too many S's.
No, it's a jittery. Okay. Hey, Arcanite Kid, what's up?
Of the game, helping his opponent out as he's doing some of the fidgety stuff that Gravy has to do, putting the 3 die down and immediately taking it. He's happy with his hand, and more importantly, he needs to know what comes next with 4 resources available. It could be 5 resources available. It could be more.
What's the last blue in his hand? It's another swell. I think I would have arsenaled the jittery bones. I don't think there's like that much value in having swell in your arsenal at this stage of the game. Typically in this phase of the game, I'm trying to arsenal cards that like enable my engine and let me play the game. Swell doesn't do that. Swell's just like create a bunch of resources, right? The reason that I'm trying to arsenal cards like a blue swell, assuming it's a blue, is so that way I can get value out of my prismatic, or have attacks that I can play when I think my opponent's going to block, so that way I can play a big hand. I think given the hand texture, the jittery like has the highest likelihood of unlocking the next 4 cards that we draw. Because like if we draw an ally on the next hand, what are we doing with it? We're just hoping we got lucky and drew a tipple or a port side, I guess. That seems kind of loose. I think I would prefer to have the thing that like lets me actually play the game in my arsenal. I would say it's more efficient late game, but I don't think that the efficiency of it is necessarily my concern right now. That definitely helps me choose to pitch it instead of arsenaling it. Like, that helps. But in reality, it's mostly just, we don't have any gold, we don't have any allies. If we draw up random 4 cards, how do we actually play the game? I don't like have a bunch of allies in my grave where I just like need to have any blue in my arsenal to make sure I can cast my allies. I'm not arsenal. I don't know that I'm coming up on a prismatic. Like, this feels like a little loose to me. We're just hoping that our next hand just naturally plays. Basically, we're giving ourselves a failure state.
Putting the 3 die down and immediately taking it. He's happy with his hand, and more importantly, he needs to know what comes next with 4 resources available. It could be 5 resources available.
Restless is fine.
Things, including Conqueror of the High Seas, so Jacob's not going to block that salt.
Thanks, card fight. I'll take a look at it out later. We'll try to get to it today. Depends what the yapping with Cody looks like. I do like Swabby. Kind of forces the issue. If Jacob is just going face, and this game is about our life total, not fatigue, you really want to get some allies in play that kind of force the issue. Say like, hey, this is a really fast clock. You got to deal with this. So either I'll block, and I'll keep getting a lot of value on offense with the allies on board, or you spend your turn clearing this. And clearing allies before hero power is turned on is pretty cringe.
In town.
5 resources is also just exactly what you need to play out the Swabby. Swabby is the biggest It's 7. It's also not that easy for Jacob to clear without committing
Yeah, Swabby's
more
great.
cards into it because it is 3 life, so you can't use a Verdance Ping to clear it. So you have to either use a Go Again card if you have something like Scar for a Scar in your sideboard, or possibly an entire spell. Swabby's one pick, I think Chum is the other, but Swabby's probably the better offensive tool in this sort of grindy-ish matchup.
We do see some interesting cards in the hand.
I'm not going to say it.
Multiple copies of Enlightened.
I'm not going to say it this time.
Wide. Channel Millennium Tree also
Jesus.
coming back into fashion right now. Going to see that first Enlightened strike heading directly towards Swabby to take care of the problem, and no doubt the second copy going directly at Antonio Carter.
Yeah, and so having a good timing on that E-Strike's existence here puts out the Swabby. It's one of the
True.
must-respect allies, I think. If you let
Have fun with your wife, Ryan. Thanks for watching.
Sort of this deck that can't threaten too many cards out of Antonio's hand. You're just giving Antonio a Titan's Fist that attacks for 7.
What was his hand originally?
Coming back Enlightened.
Tree. Okay, this makes sense.
Giving Antonio a Titan's Fist that attacks for 7. A 2-pitch 7 weapon available on board, which is way.
Whoa, it's not a Titan's Fist. This one costs 2 to swing. This is a romping club for 7.
Second E-Strike coming in for 7 here. We see multiple copies of.
And people out here like talking about Tough Nut when you have Rock at home. Imagine.
For Antonio as well. So a few options available. Both.
See what I mean? This Swell and Arsenal looks quite silly now, doesn't it?
Swells appear to be red. Compass, of course, gonna peek at the top.
Like, what was the plan? Right? Like, just hope the next hand naturally plays? That's a shit plan.
Well, are guaranteed for the chart the high seas, depending on which way you want to sequence the turn. Gravy Bones is not an easy deck. There's so many different ways to navigate a turn, and in this case,
surely we're not keeping both Swells.
3 different cards you could play first, depending on what's on top of your deck and how you want things to go.
Like, it's block. It depends what's on top, obviously, but it's block both Swells. Probably play the chart. Hope that you hit a yellow. Get rid of this Chum. Maybe we play the Swell to get some extra resources, but yep.
Is definitely one of those most appealing factors.
Yeah, we'll be talking about the rewind stuff later.
If you enjoy deck complexity, if you enjoy decision tree.
Fab is saved. Fab is saved. I just thought it would be a good clickbait thumb title.
Feeling like your decisions are ultimately what got you your results. It is the perfect deck to select and become a master of. See Antonio doing a great job of that so far this weekend. 9-2 with the Undead Buccaneer choosing to block with Saltwater Swell for now falling down to 31.
Yeah, I'm really curious what's on top.
No need for that second
I think this only makes sense if there's a red on top.
An important thing to point out in terms of what's changed for Gravy Bones since the last ban update, having no golden tipples, or 6 fewer, I should say, golden tipples.
Please no.
There's a lot less gold
Just
available.
if there's a blue on top, just play the goddamn chart.
Chum in hand and no gold on board. So at the current view of things, he doesn't have a way to get that Chum.
We need gold so bad.
Maybe it turns into a pitch card. Maybe it turns into a card you hard cast using the rest of your hand. It's not an ideal
Please
situation.
no.
So one of
Please
the
no.
challenges of this new
Please no.
Bones list is maximizing your gold generation early in the game. And if you don't.
Oh my god, I'm getting such anxiety. Please no.
This one
no.
Oh.
Okay.
About whether or not that is the correct
Jacob's just like, okay.
To go with the
oh my.
The mind goes with the chart. We'll find a blue off seas underneath. No
I'm
yellow,
lucky.
No gold and no big boat.
So many options available to Antonio. He knows if he wants to get this Chum.
I guess there's the option of like play the Swell then play the chart, but then what are you pitching to play the Swell, right?
To grave maybe somehow if he was able to have.
There's just no good play.
That chart, then he could Gravy Bones it away.
At this point, we might just play the Chum from hand.
The chart or play out the Swell. But if you play out the Swell, then maybe your chart misses after this blue that you knew was on top. Too many options. Really painful to see the Conqueror of the High Seas. It's, I mean, generally one of the best cards available to all of the pirate heroes. It, maybe least of all Puffin if she's going very mechanologist. But
man, a Jittery Bones would have been really good here.
Those ways to swing together a 12 damage turn that Gravy can do with cards like Conqueror of the High Seas. Get some gold generation, threaten some disruption. Very important to punch through the block and
my kingdom for a Jittery.
Swell finding Swell resulting in Chum
The other thing that sucks is like Chum doesn't actually really matter that much in the matchup. It's like it's fine.
being played from the hand as the immediate follow-up before we make
So
our
like we
way
went through
back
all
to
these
the
hoops just to get a Chum in
to
play, and it
fight
doesn't really matter.
third in Light and Strike here. 5 go again at Antonio here. How important is Chum in a matchup like this one?
That should tell you how good Chum is when it's
I
just
think it's
no. I'll just go face instead.
if you don't have a trigger at the start of your turn, something going away like an embodiment of Earth at the start of your action phase, then there's not many windows like to activate Chum and force the attack to go into it. And Jacob will most likely either be presenting Arcane, which doesn't matter whether the Chum is on board or not, or presenting one big attack on the turn. In this case, E-Strike coming through, Chum could have been activated. And
So we got another
card,
swell.
back to attack.
Unfortunately, it's a red
Jacob,
swell,
though,
which is
is following up with
worse.
a spell anyways, and so it doesn't matter. So
Is that a
big happy
prismatic?
Chum on board.
A
Much better than
prismatic
throwing
portside
away an
call?
entire 4-card hand to just E-Strike for 7 into the Chum and then do nothing with the remaining 2 cards. Maybe could have discarded the...
If we have a blue on top, I'm pretty into just playing this swell and then calling for an ally to play off of the resources and then arsenal the prismatic. But I'm worried that we're taking a little bit too much damage here. Like, Jacob hasn't decomposed yet, but this is a bit of damage to take. I think I also might have blocked Hook on the E-Strike. There's a chance that we just never get attacked again, so make sure we get the Hook in. There's no on hits in this deck, really.
Dealing damage to the face of Gravy Bones here, and I think that's the way to pilot this the best.
Pulsing A to life is the follow-up. We will see 4 damage taken down to 25. Waning Moon activated for 2 more points of Arcane. Likely falling to 23 as a result.
So I'm assuming there's a blue on top then if we're making
He's
this line.
still stuck with no gold and now a life deficit. So not only is he behind on life, he's one of his best ways.
If we still had the blue swell in Arsenal, this would have been great. Because then we could have, like, if we sequence this differently, because we didn't actually, like, really need to play the blue swell, I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. Like, we just play the red swell, right? And just keep the blue. Yeah, we do the exact same turn, but we choose to play the red instead of the blue. Because we've already, like, played a blue. We played a chart. There's no reason to play a second blue on the turn. We keep the blue swell in Arsenal. And then if we need to, that can be our blue for the turn. But also it opens us up to drawing into Prismatic Leyline, which just happened. I think this is, like, 2 pretty egregious Arsenal choices in a row that are pretty close to, like, we're too far behind because of these 2 Arsenal decisions.
Ways of getting back up ahead is gone. And
I think if you're going to make a decision like that and make a mistake like this, though, you probably don't want to be trading damage. Like, we made 2 mistakes. We're behind because of it. And now we're choosing to trade damage. So it's going to be hard for us to claw back in this game.
Or is not available to him.
Let's try and see what it is Antonio is so eager to keep. Prismatic Leyline in the hand there, alongside Call to the Grave, as well as Portside Exchange. So plenty of permutations here again. We'll see that Saltwater Swell restore from the Arsenal. Compass, of course, does foreshadow the top card of the deck. We're going to see another Portside Exchange joining one in the pitch.
And this is going to suck for us, too, because, like, now we're going to have, like, double Portside on the bottom, and we still don't have gold. Like, we're running out of ways to actually get gold this game.
Yep. I think
hopefully there's another Swabby in the deck.
The play here is going to be Call to the Grave and then get another ally out. It looks very familiar that he picked Swabby in the last time he had the same position where he had 5 resources floating after the Saltwater Swell into the Call to the Grave. Call to the Grave will be the blue, of course, that will enable the Gravy ability to play out that ally. And yeah, I agree. I think Prismatic Leyline goes into the arsenal. Both heroes are doing this thing where generally they're playing a sort of attack for 8 kind of game plan, or attack for 6 kind of game plan, but they have these ways to make these really big turns. Conqueror that we saw get milled off the top of Antonio's deck earlier is one of those ways, but Prismatic Leyline, especially if you can resolve 1 or 2 for 5 or 6 value on a turn.
And think of the alternate timeline we would be in, too, if we went for the Jittery play. We wouldn't have had to play the chart that just, like, doesn't need to get cast. So then we don't end up milling the conch, and then we draw the conch in the next hand with an Avast Yi. So there's a chance that we end up going, like, Avast Yi, swing 2 guys, depending on what the other 2 cards would have been. I didn't see what the next 2 cards were, like, what the order of the 4 cards in hand right now were. That's pretty devastating. That might have been, like, a game-winning turn. Just conch into ally.
Definitely one of those other ways. So Antonio arsenaling this Prismatic Leyline and trying to get something that can punch through the defenses of Jacob on a future turn.
Mental block discarded. Swabby coming in sideways. Doesn't even enter the yard. But straight into play. Straight attacking Jacob Clements and will be met by Heartbeat of Candlehold and a decomposition from, I believe, a yellow copy of Rootbound Carapace.
Pretty interesting that he's choosing to play Rootbound, not Rootbound, Rampant Growth in the matchup.
Leaked from the saltwater swell.
One damage indeed taken, down to 28.
Oh, it was a yellow Rootbound.
And Chum chilling on the board. We got one card in hand, one in the arsenal here as we make our
All
way
right.
back over.
Show me a good hand.
We'll have Felling of the Crown, the perfect 2-card hand here.
Okay.
4 Earth cards gained on defense.
Please block.
Between Rootbound Carapace and Heartbeat of Candlehold will facilitate.
We're at a life deficit. We've got 2 guys in board, and there's a Felling. Please just block. Is that a bad thing that Jacob's on Verdance? Also, we'll say I like the cut. Boy, it looks clean. He had long hair before, right? Or am I misremembering? What do we got? Prismatic, Loot the Hold, Tipple, Call, I think? Bottom of 2 block, block 6, take 2, swing with your Swabby. Like, we can't be ignorantly trading damage. This is how we lose the game.
A full 8 power Felling of the Crown.
Also, get the goddamn hook in.
Jacob giving his opponent opportunity to respond. Of course, you can respond to the attack trigger of Decompose in order to maybe gravy a card away that he doesn't want on the, or he wants to put another card on the bottom, draw an additional card, see more information before this comes in.
I mean, Verdance was undisputably the best deck in the game for like 3 hours today. Actual no bad matchups for like 3 hours. Is the last card Call to the Grave? I can't quite tell.
Attack and an ally staying on board is where you want to be. That deals a whole lot of damage. Each of those would be worth 5 on one card. Unfortunately,
It's gonna suck too because we're gonna end up with a Tipple on the bottom, right? So it's gonna be ooh. I guess this is fine. We can do this and then swing the Chum, and that's pretty reasonable. I personally am fine taking the 2 damage because we're converting the Tipple into 2 value on defense, where it would convert into an additional 1 point on offense because we either get 4 for free or we convert a card into 7. So we're getting 3 extra points. Or sorry, we're converting the card in our hand into 3 essentially because it's, the difference between these 2 attacks. So I think I'm fine going attack for 7 instead of attack for 4 and just take the 2 damage, but I would also block the hook. So it's only block for only take 1 damage. This is acceptable though. You can play it this way.
Ultimately deciding bottom a card and then just block this whole thing.
I think this is a very controlled choice from Antonio. Kind of very easy to get blinded by power in the hand. Instead, why not block out, preserve your life total, stay out of range from Verdance, and simply swing your rather undead Titan's Fist? Not a bad place to be.
And this is the power of that Chum being disrespected by Jacob, which is something that Jacob has to do based on the deck he's on. But of course, it gives Gravy Bones access to some of these cards that will just stick around on board. And it's the reason I think that a lot of people have felt this is an unfavored matchup in the past. The Gravy can just do this, efficiently lock Jacob's sort of capped damage potential, and then keep it packing throughout the game.
Jacob working with a handful of Earth here. We see Cadaverous tilling, multiple Orms touches, and a Heartbeat of Candlehold. Plenty of resources, Red Orms touch in the mix there even. So plenty of large attacks available. Plenty of block 3s as well, if we ignore that Cadaverous tilling.
Currently, no Decompose available. He would have to block with one of those Earth cards to turn it on for the Cadaverous tilling if that's the line he wants to take. There are alternative lines, playing out Heartbeat of Candlehold and Waning Moon, of course. Could also be considering blocking with several cards, playing a smaller hand, and getting even more Earth cards into the grave and taking less damage here. Could also...
The thing about playing the Heartbeat that sucks is, like, you're just getting the 3 life. It's whatever.
Tilling as the follow-up. Nice, quick, and punchy. 2 Earth cards decomposed. I believe that's now Verdance online and activated here with 8 Earth cards in the Banish Zone. Nice and timely for Jacob.
Yeah, I think it's, like, kind of doomed now.
All their life gains.
We traded damage, we're behind, and he's online. At least we got 2 guys, but I feel pretty far behind right now. But this is all because of the decisions we made with our arsenal in those first 2 turns.
Jacob blocking 6 on 4 there because he knows nothing else is doing with that extra.
I do think Jacob's draw is pretty good, like getting to be decomposed this early.
Close to decompose in his grave, so keeping himself able to play a Felling or a Plow Under that he may draw on the following turn as well.
But we should be like
difficult decision here. For
God,
Antonio,
like
interesting card in hand. We see Sunken Treasure here
5 to 7
alongside
points ahead
Conqueror
in
of
this
the High
game
Seas,
compared to where we are right
Barnes,
now.
and Avasti. So Conqueror, very powerful tool.
Vasti
Sunken
is
Treasure
really good.
potentially turning that Felling of the Crown face down.
This is a good no blocks
Another
hand if I saw one, but
big
like
bonus.
it's
Also
pretty
can
dubious at this
take
life
that
total.
first gold of the game by turning down one of your own yellow cards. Lots of options available here for our Necromancer.
Does have that prismatic.
I think I'm pretty into looking at the top with the compass to find out if this jittery has a target. Because ideally, I think I want to go prismatic, jittery, conch, swabby. If we had gold, there's also the option of like drawing off of gold to throw the conch, but we don't have gold.
Leyline that he blocked with last turn engraved, so there is a yellow available to create a gold. Obviously, lots of lines here, maybe to use that Avasti and come in with both allies as well. So he's definitely thinking, how can I maximize my damage? I want to come in with a Conqueror. I want to swing with my allies. Do I just take all this damage and try to swing back? 19.
Hook blocked, 7 damage taken. Antonio Cutter falling to 16. Now there are a few magical.
Also, the full fridge of armor is still in play for Jacob. I don't think we can actually win this game anymore. I think we basically need this hand to take Jacob's cards, and then Jacob's next hand just like can't convert.
As their life total goes a little bit lower. We'll see Avasti partnering up with that Shum swing. Rootbound Carapace successfully decomposing.
No, the rewind isn't a psyops.
Earth cards in the yard. It will be followed up by
there's nothing to psyop anymore, right? Like
leaves Jacob with 3 cards in hand, and we see one of them is
we now know that
not a card you want to play on defense, but
it doesn't work.
Multiple reds. Really awkward hand here for Jacob.
Supremely awkward. It's very unfortunate timing to get all these reds when he has some amount of tempo and he's also facing down. You know, Antonio trying to swing for the fences. Could be all right, given that Antonio is swinging for the fences. This is the turn with the Avasti. This is the turn with the Conqueror. That means 2, I think, Conquerors are
at least we hopefully make gold here. Oh, wait, no, wait, why did we sequence it this way? What the fuck? I just now realized that he already attacked with the chum. This is just not the right sequencing. What the fuck? So I understand the fear of him, like, Striders killing the Swabby. But I just wouldn't sequence it this way. I would probably go Conch. Sorry, Avast, Yi. We don't even have to worry about that, because, like... Yeah. We don't want to break chain and let him... I don't know, he had Earth cards already. So, like, breaking the chain doesn't even matter, because he already had the Earth card... Because this decomposed, right? Yeah, I don't think I give a shit about breaking chain here. I think you can make the argument of playing the Vast E first to not break chain. Whatever. I think no matter what, the first attack of the turn's got to be the Conch. I want to fish out his D-Reacts, and then I want to structure the turn such that the Avast Yi goes on the Swabby, and if I go Conch into Swabby, even if he Striders me, whatever. Like, I don't lose that much. He had to block the Conch. He can't really Striders me after that. Whatever. I don't want to put the Avast Yi on the Chum because it's so easily blocked. And we're down horrendous for gold right now. So what I want to do is play the Conch, buy his cards, then swing the Swabby with the Avast Yi trigger. That probably connects. And if it doesn't connect, it means that he gave us all the armor and probably almost all of his cards. Very likely that it connects. Unless he has a D-React and Arsenal. And then we get to hook the Chum. This gives us the highest likelihood of actually getting to hook something. And, like, he's not going to block out a Conch and then Striders us. Like, that just doesn't make sense unless he has a D-React and Arsenal. Even then, like, Jacob might not be able to win from that spot. Like, he really needs the Striders to win the game.
Diligence with those Earth cards in the yard. It will be followed up by Conqueror of the High Seas. Direct interaction or...
Antonio is swinging for the fences. This is the turn with the Avasti. This is the turn with the Conqueror. That means 2, I think, Conquerors out of the game. 1 Avasti out of the board without access to a Gold Kiss Rum right now, meaning that Antonio is maybe hitting the board for a whole lot of damage.
I think
right
you're like
now.
basically
Maybe
priced into
say, okay,
hooking
I'll
this
block you out,
Swabby
and I
now,
hope you
even
don't
though
draw
you didn't
another one of
connect.
Zavasky's next turn, and I hope you don't draw another one of these Conquerors. And if I draw next turn something that can deal damage, then we're back into the game.
A really interesting decision point here from Antonio. If you didn't notice the pause, they were debating a gold-baited hook activation. Jacob,
I think you're so far behind, you just have to do it.
Theoretically stop Swabby from connecting, but if Prismatic Leyline was played, it becomes even more difficult. So Antonio taking the right moment there to contemplate if their Leyline is worth scoring a gold for the first time in this game. Instead, Swabby connecting with Jacob's skull, falling down to 21. Jacob eager to keep that Channel the Millennium Tree they have in their hand and the card that is currently in their arsenal. Need it as a pitch resource to play out Pulsing Aether. The damage will continue until morale improves for Arcane. Directly at Antonio would bring them down to 12 if they choose.
It's pretty surprising that he's choosing to play it this way.
There's too many defense reactions available to Jacob to risk throwing in that 7 with the hook on a game where you've been so gold starved the whole way, and you would lose that hook immediately without having created one.
I think it's like pretty reasonable to block with the tree here, but I understand. Antonio's like just about in the kill range.
More importantly, still continue to push Antonio lower and lower. Prioritizing Arcane at this point in the game is probably very important and a part of Jacob's game plan, because he knows at least 2 will come in over the top of this Arcane Barrier 4 against Antonio. Sorry, of this Arcane Damage 4 against Antonio.
Is this the last conch?
Take a look at the hand.
Or is there one more?
Fearless Confrontation, another Prismatic Leyline, Sawbones, and Murderous Rabble available here. Looks like we're debating pitching away the ally to prevent some arcane damage here.
Yeah, I'm down to pitch the ally. I don't give a shit about this. What?
Shum activated
What?
discard Sawbones. Dead
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
pay for one of the arcane.
Even without access to gold, this is a very good way.
Yeah, okay, I actually like this play.
In the matchup onto the table. So
We weren't using the dead threads anyways. We're getting one less value, but we at least get to get the Sawbones and play the cycle. Because we get to go Rabble, Prismatic, Sawbones. And then, like, Jacob probably has to kill the Sawbones.
Very important to develop. It takes that kill range of 9 that we keep talking about down up to a kill range of 10.
Sheesh.
It is time for double Prismatic Leyline. Unfortunately,
Unlucky.
yellow copy of Scuba found on top of the deck. So not maximum damage here coming in for Antonio, but still double damage stacked up from these Leylines. 8 points of damage coming in, and we know at the very least there's a yellow attack coming after this one.
Yeah, Sawbones does develop, cost 2 to develop and 1 to swing, so Jacob may be contemplating the possibility that there's another yellow in hand, and that this can't be developed because the dead thread's already being activated on this turn.
Surely we hook this turn.
Antonio does have a blue, he will be able to put it out.
No blocks declared here from Jacob Clemens. 8 damage coming on through, brings us equal on life totals for both players. 13 plays 13. The turn will continue for Antonio. Fearless Confrontation pitch, Sawbones established, and the
Oh my god, hook man.
Come in. Sawbones not just 6 here, juiced up pretty hefty.
We're so far behind.
Prismatic Leyline, a whopping 10 damage.
And that's the power of having held on to that Prismatic Leyline in Arsenal. He found the other one. We had this turn earlier where he had the opportunity to use 2 Prismatic Leyline together, choosing to block instead because he couldn't maximize the offense from it.
God, yeah. This game would have been so different if we made the other decisions with the Arsenal too. Because this Prismatic and Arsenal was pretty awkward all game. We drew it playing pots in the matchup. Interesting. We drew into hands that like really couldn't convert the Prismatic very well. Where if we had Arsenal different, we would have played the Prismatic the turn that we drew it, and then had like a pretty reasonable turn. And then our Arsenal would have been open afterwards, and then we could have played the game from there and like made some better Arsenal choices. Instead, we got like kind of stuck with this Arsenal for a while, and it made like our blocking decisions kind of awkward.
Jacob Clemens has 2 healing potions in hand. Potions apparently part.
That's one way to win, I guess.
Do not block, and therefore 8 being blocked here, courtesy of Stonewall Gauntlet.
So hopefully the next hand converts. We really need like a go again of some sort.
We will see one established. The other either in the arsenal or fuel for Waning Moon as the undead army.
Interesting. I'm surprised I didn't Waning Moon here.
Be the former. Arsenaling that healing potion, momentum going all the way.
I guess it feels like he's not going to die here.
Sawbones on board, Sawbones in hand. The remaining 2 copies join Chart the High Seas alongside that Scuba we already knew about. Chart reached for here, no compass activation yet.
Oh, you just had to blind it.
Jacob desperately hoping that there's
Oh my god, we're so lucky. Oh my god, we got a gold.
Swing is limited to less than his life.
Oh,
Maybe he can deal some
finally
damage
something
against
broke our
Sawbones
way.
kill range on top of the Sawbones, but a
Would you
great
like to
hit
make a
from Chart
gold?
the High Seas here.
Antonio Cutter hasn't made a gold token. Whaler Humperdinck found with Chart the High Seas, but gold Not yet generated. Let's see if they spot the issue. They do. Oh,
There you go.
my heart was in my mouth. Gold token finally generated for Gravy Bones. Immediately cashed in with that hero ability to draw an additional card and discard one of these copies of Sawbones. The wall of prevention continues to get larger. Tip the Barkeep, the find here for Antonio.
A really good.
What's the other card in hand? Is it another Sawbones?
Prioritizes playing it out now. Maybe he arsenals it so it can turn on his hero power and be played out next turn. But it's going to be good to be able to attack with this plethora of allies that are available. Need that.
Do we just
that tip the Barkeep or the gold
put 3 Sawbones in play?
Second Sawbones established. We will see Tip the Barkeep played. Gold Kiss Rum will be available on the following turn to enable some go again for these.
Do we just put 3
allies.
Sawbones in play?
Sawbones and Scuba remaining. Hook activated for the first time. What does it feel like to make gold? Pretty good. Swabby swinging. If this manages to connect,
I think it could be correct to go triple Sawbones here. I'm not sure. I'd have to think about it more, but like, I don't think that's the most unreasonable play line.
Disrupts his opponent, maybe slows down the next turn available after this one for Antonio. Unfortunately, he has a card in his own arsenal, so if that's one important part of the combo piece, I think we know it's a healing potion, then he would have to sacrifice that off of the Plow Under if he wants to prioritize playing one of these out. It only deals 6.
At least he can chum away the Sawbones in hand.
Have allies on board game, maybe use the Sawbones to eat up some of that damage and keep cards as well, not getting himself into kill range. Jacob stumbling a bit here.
Definitely an awkward hand for our Player of the Year advocate. Swabby standing between them and additional World Tour points. At this
The way he said that, it made it sound like Swabby was the Player of the Year candidate.
Cleanly or efficiently. More tempting than you'd expect when the gold-weighted hook is attacked.
Swabby, my goat.
Coming along for the ride. Jacob really in the blender here. Tough decision tree to follow. Let's get a better look at that hand if we can. The Plow Unders you alluded to. Cadaverous Tilling Red also part of the equation alongside a blue copy of Arcane Twinning.
Arcane Twining, of course, able to become a 4-block if he wants to throw this chest piece in front of this attack as well, but that's 2 plus 4 is 6, and it's
True.
an awkward way to reach the 7 to deny this gold.
I do want to draw attention to Balance of Justice once more. We have noticed the incredible gold denial over the course of this game. Never has Gravy.
Interesting.
Draw multiple cards.
So he's just going to play the pot and pass, I guess? And just hope that he can't convert?
Instead of having to park it in the arsenal. And so it will be available as the army grows. Another healing potion played from the arsenal here for Jacob Clements, trying to find a way to build a grand finale. For now, we're passing back over to Antonio Cutter, who has a whole wall of friends and the Gold Kiss Rum to start a party. Hand containing Chum, Swabby, blue copy of Golden Tipple.
So we got to worry about not turning on the hat here.
It will be that Tipple is the first play. Antonio debating if it is the right target for gold-baited hook. Seems to be.
Antonio must have been happy when he saw that golden Tipple come up.
I think I'm like 1000% never activating Gravy Bones this turn because I want to use the Gold Kiss Rum.
1 gold. It gets one of those awkward allies out of the hand and into the graveyard.
Is there any way that we could actually play the Whaler here? I don't think so. No, there's no way to play Whaler. If there's a blue on top, we can... No, because we still have to play a blue.
Counts as a blue that's going to hit the grave to help get this 3rd all-important Sawbones onto the table. Definitely feels like the Undead Army has control of the game right now.
I don't think I'm drawing an extra card here because I don't want to turn on the balance. I'm not going to Gravy Bones because I don't want him to balance. And I don't think I'm going to draw off of gold because I don't want to let him balance. So I think I'm actually fine compassing here to see what's on top, to see if this Jittery can be played.
Antonio taking a moment to breathe, as you should in these spots. It's not every day you find yourself in the feature match area against a renowned player like Jacob Clements has the opportunity to...
Because we'll pitch a yellow to this, float 1, random card off the top into hand. 1, 2. We need 5 resources to do what we ideally want to do, which is swing Swabby, cast another Sawbones, and swing one of the Sawbones. So we would have to pitch a blue. Yeah, I think we're supposed to look here, because if we draw a blue, then we get to make that play. If there's a yellow on top, then we're probably just supposed to play the Jittery Bones here first. And if there's a red on top, then that changes everything. Or prismatic on top.
To not only cause an upset, but keep themselves alive for a top 8 berth here in Hamburg. It will be the Tipple, alongside that gold-baited hook, debating which card to pitch.
Bro
Really
just
fun.
loves
So
bleeding
whether it's
info.
supposed to be one of these allies or this jittery bones,
It's
to fuel
pitch the
this
chum
war
and
will be the
and then
last
get rid of the
against
swabby.
Chum.
Is he thinking he does have access to that Chum on board, meaning the 2 allies that were left in hand, one discarded by Tipple and one could be discarded by Chum. He can get them.
Are we
into
going
order
to
if he wants
draw?
to.
Okay.
If he wants to take an alternative line, pitch one of them, then the Jittery Bones can act as a
What is
starter
this?
on his follow-up turn that deals a bit of damage and makes sure he can activate or play out a whole nother
Gold
ally.
Kiss
So
Rum.
quite a hard decision for him there. Ultimately decides get all of these allies into
The card found by Antonio, the third and final conqueror of the high seas. No go again just yet, but with a compass activation, we can take a look at the top card and see if chaining gold together might be our route.
Is that worth turning on his balance? Because the card would still, like, we can convert our hand here, Arsenal the Conch, and just do it next turn. How much damage are we doing on this turn? And how many cards does he get to keep? And again, remember, we're going to end the turn with a bunch of Sawbones in play, so our effective life total is actually quite high. We have 2 floating, we can Dead Threads, and we have a Sawbones. So we have an effective 5 resources, which is what I said we needed to do what we wanted to do. We want to Gold Kiss, swing Swabby, swing Sawbones. Swing and play Sawbones. That's 5 resources. So we get to do exactly what we want. We're presenting 13 damage. You can block Chest, and then a couple non-attacks. Blocking with 2 cards from hand, leaving him with 2 cards, would be him effectively blocking, what, 10? 10 on our 13, he'd go to 7. Then he maintains the Arsenal, which assumedly is a good card. He chose to just play a pot, keep this 1-card Arsenal pass. So he could play a 2-card hand. But we're at 13 with triple Sawbones AB2. I think we're pretty safe to resolve this Conch next turn. We can, like, pitch 1 card to AB and Sawbones if we need to. And then I think we present lethal. I don't think we're supposed to draw here. I think we just, like, leave that here for the following round. Because the other thing we could do is we could pass turn. Gravy Bones on Jacob's turn if we need to. Just to, like, if we're going to draw a card off of Gravy Bones, we can just do it on Jacob's turn. And then Dead Threads AB like we did earlier. And then draw on our own turn with the gold if we need to. That way we're spreading out the draw across the 2 turns. There's a chance that I'm missing something here. But I think that's the play. We just crack our Gold Kiss, swing, get his first chest use off the board, take 2 cards. The worst case is, like, what? He plows us? That's the punish? But even then, if he plows us, whatever, we block 2 cards and push, right? And we're back in kind of the same situation, except for he's in a worse position. Like, exact same board state, except for we're plus a Sawbones, he's down a chest use and 3 life.
To victory, blue on top.
I guess we're down a Gold Kiss.
Sequence this turn.
there's a way to
But we haven't used that many go-agains from the deck either. We've still got, what, 1 or 2 Call to the Graves left? And I think 2 of Vast Yees. And, like, 2 Tip the Barkeeps. I think it's pretty reasonable that our next hand converts.
Draw that blue, use Dead Threads to create a 4th resource with pitching the blue.
If it's just like a plow.
Conqueror and come in with maybe one of those free attacks like Chum at the end of
Oh, the Greed Monster.
Gold.
Greed Monster strikes again.
Blue drawn, Portside Exchange added to the hand, albeit briefly. Of course, Portside Exchange could discard that remaining ally. If that's the line Antonio would prefer to take, make another gold, draw a fresh card, continue to put the puzzle together.
The ally could also join the Portside Exchange in the pitch zone and might end up doing that anyways when he wants to develop an ally later on after this Conqueror later in the turn.
On Jacob's side of the equation, The third healing
I have no idea where my phone
has
is.
made its way into the hand alongside Burn Bear, Light Up the Leaves, and Emeritus Scolding, so only 9 block value available. If Antonio wants to board the ship they are known for, we will see Portside pitch the gold. It's going to be a vast Yi drawn from the gold here, adding an incredible number of permutations to this turn. Allies can have go again.
Okay.
Conqueror can come swinging in.
Just have it all, I guess.
The possibilities.
Oh, the
are
possibilities.
endless.
Allies can have go again, but then you can't attack with a Conqueror because
This isn't
you don't have
even
enough resources
good.
available for it.
Why did we crack another gold?
In the mix.
Right? Because we went to 0 floating. We drew the blue. I don't understand why we're doing any of this. I think this is, like, incredibly worse than the other line. Because now we're throwing a conch into, what, 1 ally swing? This is, like, basically the same amount of damage, but we don't get an arsenal and let him draw off balance. And we lost all of our gold. We keep the gold kiss, but that's surely worse.
If Antonio wants to board,
I'd rather conch an arsenal than a gold kiss in play.
We'll see Portside pitch the gold. It's going to be a vast Yi drawn from the gold here, adding an incredible number of permutations to this turn. Allies can have go again. Conqueror can come.
I mean, we can do the same thing. Where we just, like, don't use the gold kiss now. We just play the vast Yi, and it's, like, kind of the same thing. No, not even, because we have to pitch this yellow. Dead Thread's dollar floating, that's 4 resources. So now we can't swing the Swabby and a Sawbones. It has to be Swabbones, Sawbones. So we're actually down a point of damage. This is worse.
Momentum here with Antonio Cutter. We'll have to find the perfect sequencing. It will be Gold Kiss Rum to start. Gravy, mildly intoxicated. Sawbones, Dockhand will be the first choice here. Balance finally cashed in as to.
I think he tossed the game.
For the first time.
I'm pretty sure he actually wins the game from the previous position with the conch and arsenal. And just, like, gold kiss, swing, swing. Like, how do you lose with 3 Sawbones in play and a conch and arsenal leaking damage and taking most of his cards? I don't think you can lose from that spot. I guess he has the H-Pots to heal back up and deal some damage, but I don't think it's enough. I don't think Jacob can, from this position, beat triple Sawbones unless he has, like, a nuts rampant hand. Which is pretty hard to have when you're probably forced to block on this turn. It'd have to be, like, what, like, a spell and arsenal ramp. We're gaining 6 life. Amping 12. It's still not enough to even kill. The Striders probably finishes the game at that point, but the hand would have to be block 2 cards with the chest, ramp. And I don't even think he has all of his ramps left anymore, right? Didn't he get rid of some earlier in the game? They're, like, at the bottom from, like, E-Strike or something.
3 block, I believe, found there by Jacob. Looks like another copy of Light Up the Leaves. We'll see Barkskin and that copy joining the combat chain here in order to block 4-6.
A lot of offensive potency still available to Antonio, even through these buffed up blocks that Jacob's going to be throwing down throughout this turn.
Conqueror of the High Seas is the immediate follow-up. One resource floating as the big bad boat of High Seas makes its way onto the combat chain, immediately demands 8 block from Emeritus Scolding and Burn Bear. We'll see Dead Threats activated and Swabby swinging in as even.
I guess we can do it this way.
Against Jacob Clemens here. The hand, Light Up the Leaves and Healing Potion, desperate to be kept together, will take 7 damage, falling down to 3, trying to send enough.
I think this is worse because we let him draw off the hat.
To tie this game up.
The healing potions are on board, and they are a way to not just buff up an attack with rampant growth, but of course they could just buy Jacob some of this life back that he's just lost. He uses those action points earlier in the game to count basically as a 2-block carried forward. If he wants to pop them here, go up to 7 and not be threatened so heavily by the effect from
what the fuck?
Board from Antonio Cutter here.
Love to see this embodiment of Earth breaking at the start of turn, gives Antonio Cutter a window to respond with Chum. No felling, no plow will be going at Antonio this turn. These healing potions will break. 2 life gained. Verdance triggered for Jacob Clemens here. This arcane damage looking inconsequential.
I don't think I would have ever chummed here. I'm pretty sure that we're expecting to block with most of our cards here on arcane. And we need to make sure that we keep a card to attack with. Now, if we end up defending with most of our cards, we just like literally can't attack. I think it's like pretty obvious that Jacob is going to crack his pots here and like try to do something with all that.
Damage cap of Jacob Clements' next few turns. We'll see back alley break line pitched away to pay for that first arcane. Now Jacob will need to debate if that second pot is worth its weight later on. Decided it's better to hold. 5 life is enough. Light up the leaves coming over the line here for 6 arcane.
Now here's where it's important that Jacob understands the gravy deck so much. He's taken 1 card off his opponent with the chum activation, 1 card off the opponent with the commit to AB1 on the ping and AB2 on this light up
Actually, kind of surprised he didn't crack the other pot.
the leaves, meaning he knows Antonio only has 2 cards left. Most likely he feels safe at 5 life against this 2-card hand from Gravy Bones, no matter what it could be.
Limited cards left to work with. Sawbones activations potentially available if Antonio decides that preventing this arcane is the be-all.
Yeah, I just activate the Sawbones.
Of their turn, we see them reaching for the powerful ally.
Though for what it's worth, I would have activated all 3 Sawbones.
Both copies momentarily, just 1 and the second. 2 more. Prevention coming across, 2 damage taken, down to 11 here for Antonio. Sawbones out of action, at least for a
Jacob now understanding probably the exchange is just the Swabby coming in to face that. Those Sawbones having been tapped defensively.
Compass activation takes a peek at the top card of the deck. We'll see another copy of Back Alley Breakline here pitched away just to facilitate that Swabby attack. No. Second thoughts here for Antonio. We're going to activate the gold-baited hook here before sending in that Swabby.
Imagine if we had a Conk in Arsenal right now. We'd be lit.
Hands that are most dangerous in this moment are the ones that Jacob Clements will want.
This hand would have converted so much better.
Says, hey, my gold-baited hook had a good run. If you want to give me multiple cards to stop a gold token, I'm fine with that. Jacob Clements here working with another slightly suboptimal hand, but we do see Channel the Millennium Tree, Plow Under, Punamu Amulet, and a copy of Burn Bear.
Yeah, I think part of the thought process for forcing this gold-baited hook is also not letting Jacob maybe think, what if I Storm Strider's here? He doesn't have the Sawbones. He only has maybe 1 pitch available or 2 pitch. Don't know what that last card is. I get a little bit of damage through, and then I can just kill the normal way in my action phase. With this hand, it doesn't look like that's going to be the play. Getting these Burn Bears and these Light Up Leaves is very important, not just because they're the way you win the game, your opponent only has AB2, but they're also going to tap that Sawbones defensively often on Antonio's side, meaning he can't attack with it, and more importantly, he won't be able to tap it again defensively on his own turn. So if Jacob draws a Burn Bear, plays it, and then draws 1 on his opponent's turn, he can kill possibly in a 1-2 punch.
Did you hook this? Asked. Yes, I did. And so the reevaluation will begin. Momentary block of 6 for Jacob Clements. Now needs to reevaluate the gold token that they have made themselves aware of, how that plays into this equation.
Still got that Plow Under.
Earlier today, I would have thought that Rewind was going to get banned for Worlds.
Floating in his turn that he sticks into Arsenal for the kill shot. The unfortunate thing is he'll be giving his opponent a start of turn trigger, so he could end up risking this chum activation again. Plow Under does nothing but kill the chum and doesn't actually threaten his opponent's life.
I can see some more LL bans.
Shattered. Embodiment of Earth playing its role. Staunch defense here for Jacob. Does a fantastic job at blunting that input. Embodiment of Earth will break prior to the assault we see this turn.
I think Verdance looks like a pretty fair and balanced hero. Like, I don't think you're doing anything broken in the hero, so it feels very odd to be like, Verdance needs bans. But then when you look at all the data, it is overperforming by such a wide margin that I could see them do something to address it. This is one of the most overperforming decks that we've seen in a long time. And you know LSS loves their shake-up bans. So I could see it. Like, if we got to the next BNR and, I don't know, Waning Moon was on the BNR or some bullshit like that. Just something that you could argue being reasonable to take out of the deck that was a financially cheap card. Like, H-Pop maybe. I don't know. I'm just, like, throwing out random bullshit ideas. But just something that, like, hits just Verdance and takes it down, like, just a smidge, maybe. I could see that happening. Or, like, opening up certain strategies, being able to attack her. I'm not sponsored by them, so I don't need to plug anything. I would be more than happy to be sponsored by said data site. But y'all don't get that shit for free.
Jacob's body language as he taps this embodiment of Earth and asks if it goes away.
Runaways is sponsored by them, but
when that does go away without a chum activation, very stressed.
This channel isn't sponsored by Runaways.
Now he's able to have some. Does he want to do some arcane? Does he want to gain some life?
Healing potion broken to life gain. Verdant's trigger incoming. Antonio will have to decide whether or not this arcane damage is inconsequential to the future.
That's an interesting question. What is hey Matt, can you like ask that question again once we finish this game? Because we're like right at the end of this game. Maybe. And I'd like to revisit that in a minute. I don't want to keep pausing the game. Let's finish this game and then we'll come back to that. Or we can talk about that when Cody joins. I think Cody might have some good insight on that. He kind of plays every deck.
I don't think he can afford that. He has to respect this arcane damage and stay above this 11-ish life threshold. The double upside of this is that Jacob's probably going to follow up with the plow under, maybe, meaning that this whole...
Okay, let's talk about it real briefly then. So what changed? Gravy got a little worse. Arachne got a little worse. Syndra picked up in popularity because Gravy and Florian were two of the perceived best decks. Acelia picked up and play a little bit. Kasai picked up and play a little bit. Assassin basically fell out of the meta. KO jumped in play. I think KO might be one of the biggest reasons for this. But it's not even necessarily like a metagame shift thing, because if you look across the board, the matchup spread for Verdance is extremely good. She basically only has like 2 bad matchups. It's like Gravy and I forget what the other one was. It was like Acilio or Dio or something. I forget what it was. I think the thing with her is it's actually quite difficult to build your deck in such a way to attack Verdance. She doesn't have like a specific like gimmick or thing that you can attack that's like, hey, I'm going to go after this specific part of how your deck functions. And if I do that, it falls apart. I can't put in poppers into my deck to blow up your attacks. I can't play Gravekeepings or just like Mask of Momentum to attack what you're doing. I can't play D-Reacts to shut off what you're doing. I can't just play like any functioning hero of the game and beat you. Keck. So like metagaming against her is like a little difficult. I think it legitimately might just be because Light Up the Leaves. Because I think Verdance, when she was on a good... basically from... honestly, like, hunted forward. Basically, once we lost Aurora, Enigma, and like, all the previous Boogeyman heroes, I think Verdance was one of the best heroes. And if you talk to Lucas, obviously he would agree. And I think he showed it was one of the best heroes when he played it. The issue that I saw with the deck was it had so few good cards. Like, you look at Verdance, and then you compare it to, like, a deck list for Verdance, and you compare it to a deck list for Florian. Most of the cards in Verdance kind of suck ass. Like, your whole blue base is butt cheeks. You've got one good blue in the whole deck. You've got Felling and Plow. You don't even get the other channel. So you're down a power card compared to Florian. You don't have all these pushed Runeblade Majestics that we got over the past couple years. You don't have Grasp. Where just like every blue in your deck is just good. Like Florian can put any blue in his deck and it converts into 5. You don't get that with Verdance. The trade-off is she gets rampant growth. But the quality of her blues was so bad, and the lack of like relevant cards in the deck, I think made a lot of her draws really awkward. and forced you into playing extremely technical games because because you have so few things, you have to make the things that do matter really count. You can't just willy-nilly play your cards. With her gaining 6 more power cards and an additional good blue in the deck, the card quality of her deck has gone up significantly. Also true, she actually has a helmet now. Like, you can argue, and I think Noah has been arguing this, that the deck has actually gotten better now that it's not using the crutch that is the previous hat. What Verdance does is very good. She's a very strong hero power, and her good cards are good. She just didn't have enough. So I think just her getting more good cards is what pushed her over the edge of like, okay, this is a reasonable hero now. It kind of reminds me of Azalea a little bit and Lexi, where they had some, like, Azalea had a really good weapon. Lexi has a very good weapon and a very good hero power, but they just didn't have the card quality. And then they eventually hit a critical mass of good cards when Outsiders dropped, that the decks functioned and went from the I barely function to I'm one of the best things that you can be doing because the bones of the deck were so good. I think it's very realistic that we even see this happen with Puffin and Marlin eventually, because I think the bones for those heroes are also incredibly good. They have some very good cards. Their hero powers are reasonable. I think the Ranger card pool is also insanely broken. So won't take much for something like that to happen to Marlin. Anyways, that's my thoughts on that. Yeah, exactly. It was just like kind of waiting for that critical mass of good cards. So in the case of Viserai, it wasn't a critical mass of good cards. It was a combination of the meta positioning in such a way that was profitable for Viserai and cards that actually work with his hero power of like he has a critical mass of good cards, but he didn't have the rune chant generation. It was really just getting the non-attacks. I think Dirge was like really the card that he needed. And Incantation. I think if he got nothing else, the deck would have still been incredibly powerful. But the meta also shifted in such a way where Viserai was able to damage stack and present true damage, and decks couldn't really punish him for doing that. So, like, the meta shifted in a way that was incredibly profitable for him, essentially.
Whole card that's gone to AB has just AB'd one resource defensively, and Antonio is going to be a bit limited on his turn again.
I have Ophidia seeing Golden Tipple blue and Jittery Bones blue. The Plow Under will be the follow-up here. Decomposition happening. Arsenal will not be remaining.
Interesting. So what I described actually would have happened. He had the Plow. This has been here from before, right? Or did he cycle his Arsenal? Okay, he didn't cycle his Arsenal. So he had, if we did take the other line of Arsenal in the conch, he would have plowed it. Are we okay with that though? Because in my alternate universe, we would have had another Sawbones in play, 2 gold in play, and a conch and Arsenal. He plows the conch. Okay. Activate 3 Sawbones and block with 1 card. Hold a 3-card hand. And that would have been the hand with the no. We're in a different timeline now because he's drawn cards. He might have had a Rigor Mortis in his hand. So he could have even if Jacob did the thing of crack H-pot and like fish, we can just activate Gravy Bones, discarding the Rigor Mortis, Dead Threads AB. Because we also don't want to give him balance on the balance. Don't want to give him value on balance. So we already want a Gravy Bones on Jacob's turn. Play 3-card hand. Still in an incredibly good position.
That hand, now now he's able to have.
We would have had the Avasti in our hand, so we just do the same thing again. We just like play the Avasti, pitch a card, present 13 damage again off of 2 cards, and then we have an extra card in our hand because we're blocking 1 card and using all the Sawbones. So we play the Avasti. Maybe we don't activate all the Sawbones. Maybe we only activate 2, so that way we can attack with the Sawbones. Maybe. There's also a chance that we, like, look at the top of our deck, see if it's another blue, crack gold, draw a card. Now we can play the Avasti, play the Rigor Mortis, swing Rigor Mortis, swing Swabby, and now we've got everything on board. Like, we're stupid good. Jacob is at 5, and we're presenting 13. That seems pretty good.
Healing Potion broken, 2 life gain, Verdant's trigger incoming. Antonio will have to decide whether or not this arcane damage is inconsequential to the future of this game.
I don't think he can afford that. He has to respect this arcane.
Okay, we already...
Position sinks to the bottom of the ocean. Eye of Ophelia spent on that 1 point of arcane, now 6 physical damage that must be respected in return.
Cannot ignore the 6 physical damage. If you do, you just die to the blow up that's being put into Arsenal just here. Probably thinking block 6, swing with Swabby, something like that. But now Antonio thinks, if I do that, oh, wait, suddenly I'm the one who's behind on tempo. And now my 11 doesn't look so good if I give Jacob a full hand and then a full my turn hand.
Oh, we got guest host time. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Can you talk a bit more so I can see if your audio's picking up?
Yeah, see if you can hear me or not.
Sounds perfect. All right, did you want a face cam?
I can if you want.
That's up to you.
I think we're good for now.
Okay. Well, say hi to chat. This is Cody Williams joining us to we're gonna crash out together a bit and watch these games.
True.
Let me pull up the games for you so you can watch.
Yeah, watch again. The delay is not gonna cut it.
Yeah.
I know where
we're like
I've watched.
I think he navigated almost every turn of this game wrong on the gravy side.
Agreed. It's hard. It's hard though if you're not like super prepped for this exact scenario because you don't run into like having all of your dudes up on the board that often.
So I think he navigated even the early turns wrong. Like he had on like the first turn of the game a choice between putting a Jittery Bones or a Swell blue in Arsenal, and he went with the Swell, but he doesn't have any gold. So he like kind of created a failure state. Like, how are you hoping to play your next hand? You don't have any guys. You don't have any gold. Are you just hoping that you're him and draw portside guy? And then, and then he arsenaled a red Swell after that. Where if he had kept the blue Swell at least, it could have let him like play a small hand with the blue Swell, and like that's his blue for the turn. But then he also drew a Prismatic in the next hand, so like the Prismatic didn't have a blue to go with it. It was just like turn after turn of little things like that that I think kind of cost him this game.
Yeah, the only part of this game I've seen really is this part, the end game, and I just thought like he didn't prioritize tipple. Like I tipped the barkeep when he drew one. He just didn't want to double swing allies, and I would have gone way out of my way to double swing allies because I think it just wins the game here. Because like if they beat you, like who cares? Like you win the game.
Yeah, there's a turnover here. I think it's this turn. He starts off with a tipple, and then he's got a conch in his hand, and a Swabby in his hand, and still 2 floating because he hasn't drawn off of gold yet. And so the hand is conch, Swabby, blue on top. It's a portside exchange, with the 2 floating. And all I wanted to do was put this conch in Arsenal so that way I can make sure I can convert my next hand.
Yep.
And then I don't want to give him balance value. So we just play the other Sawbones. Now we have 3 Sawbones in play. How do we ever lose? And then we swing Swabby Sawbones.
couldn't we do all this? Like, can't we basically do all this and not draw, and then also just play conk? Like, we can just play if we have a blue and a yellow in our hand, we just like conk, and then we put the sawbones in play, and then we swing sawbones.
Well, we don't have the second blue to play the conk.
Oh, I thought you said he draws a blue off of this tipple.
He draws a blue off of gold.
Ah, okay.
He
That's
sees
interesting.
he smells blood in the water and goes, I'm gonna play this conk. But it, like conk, by letting him draw a card off of balance, kind of defeats the point.
Oh yeah. I'm never giving him balance for the rest of the game here. You
Mhm.
never want to resolve conk if it lets them pop balance. I mean,
Mhm.
that's like our heuristic.
And like, whatever, you're gonna present 13 off of the swabby pitch plus the $2 floating plus the dead threads. Have 3 sawbones in play with 13 damage.
Yeah. I
Surely
agree.
you win the
I
game
agree
from
with you
that
if he's not
spot.
drawing that blue.
Yeah. And like, Jacob can't win the game on the next turn or like present anything that matters, and then we have the conk for next turn to guarantee we convert.
Mhm.
But then we're here, I believe,
And
and this is where we were at. It was
Eye of Ophidia spent.
he had the plow in Arsenal when we would have arsenaled the conk, but I think we're perfectly happy with that happening. Like, okay, whatever, you plow under my conk. This doesn't actually matter. Activate all 3 sawbones.
Yeah, and how much damage does he have to take to actually play that? Because he's not drawing an extra card anymore. So it's like we're swinging 13. He has to block with 3 cards.
Yeah, and then he doesn't have an arsenal in the following turn because he played the
And
plow.
he doesn't have an arsenal. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty good for us.
Yeah, like how does he win from that spot?
On that 1 point of arcane, now 6 physical damage.
I think we just like get to ride the 3 sawbones to victory, essentially.
Not ignore the 6 physical damage. If you do, you just die to the blow up that's being put into Arsenal.
Especially now that we got the pots off the board.
Block 6, swing with Swabby, something like that.
Yeah,
But
did he
now
pot
Antonio
this
thinks,
turn?
If I do that,
Or was
He
it-
potted once each turn for the past 2 turns. He like potted to fish for Antonio to pitch to AB, and then did something now that he already pitched to AB.
Yeah.
the one who's behind on
He could have also been
And now my
fishing
11
for the
doesn't look
chum
so
as
good if I
well.
give Jacob a
Right?
full hand and then a
That happened the first time. He cracked a pot and then he chummed and then he threw 6 arcane at his face. And then this time he cracked a pot, he pitched to AB. Okay, I'll play the plow instead.
full my turn hand as well.
Kind of forked him.
Impressive sequencing and reserve decision making by both of our players.
Yeah, but he
over
doesn't
the
get to.
course of this
I don't know.
game.
He doesn't really get to play
An
this
impressive
game
showing for the
if you're
possibilities
swinging 13.
of
right?
Storm
Like,
of the Rose in this
he doesn't have to
matchup.
have
His
his card
healing potions
behind.
look
He only
a
has
little
one
awkward
choice.
early, have definitely been the
I'm
same
assuming.
And
that
do you
that
have
might
3
probably
sawbones?
spell.
as this game
Yeah.
has continued.
Like again, you just
Caught
Jacob can
out
just
of
never
Arsenal on
win
Antonio
with
Cutter,
Antonio at
forced
11 with 3
even more
sawbones.
cards out of the hand. 7 plays
You might be
into
able
the
to even
two.
just like
pretty hard.
fatigue him at this
For
point.
our players, both sitting at 9 and 2 here in round number 12. Still very alive.
I mean,
for a
surely
10-8 finish.
this turn is
Of
like
course,
the
if Antonio does
simplest
wanna take
turn
the
of all
bigger
time.
two-card hand, he
It's
could
like
use these sawbones
block
defensively
this,
on the physical damage. It means he
tap
does lose access to
some
the sawbones
sawbones,
defensively on the arcane
or
damage
tap
that might
like
come, but
a
only might come
sawbones,
on
play
his
tip,
own half of the
and
turn
then
cycle.
swing 2 guys. Right?
Also
Like,
Yeah.
chart the high seas and dead
It's definitely
thread
not do
3,
this.
4 here. Big fan of utilizing the 1 block on this piece of equipment. While you know an attack
I think there's an
world
argument
in
for it.
Getting the
direction, and we will
there's
see
a
the
world
sawbones
that you
with
don't
4
think he's
here.
going to hit you again. I would need to know how many
Tapping
felons
these
and stuff
sawbones
he
is
has
really
left.
good if your opponent doesn't arsenal or
Also-
doesn't burn or light up the leaves. But if they
Also,
do,
we don't have any gold.
then you feel like you maybe put yourself
Yeah.
in a risky position.
Yeah.
Two
I can
damage
buy
prevented
that.
by Sawbones, Dockhand,
I think if we
Burst,
took the
Arsenal
other
for
line,
Arsenal for
we
Jacob
would have
Francis,
still had gold in
full
play, and then
cards
we don't have to do
use
this.
those final points of damage.
Yeah.
There
I
is
think
a
that's
rampant
that's
growth
fair though.
life
From
in
the
hand
spot
next to
with nothing
pulsing
else.
Aether
It's
Life,
definitely not play this
mental
though.
block,
This is
This is
Definitely
definite-
and Carapace.
What are we doing? Surely the tip the
Yeah.
barkeep gets played here.
As this saltwater swell
Yeah.
comes across into the red zone. One
Yeah, the way that I wanted to potentially play this was we still have the gold theoretically. We look off of Compass. Turn up Cody's audio. Sure. How do I do that?
I love the sure. Then let's figure it out.
Yeah, because I don't know how to do that in a call. Whatever, I'll just do it on here.
How is this any better? I've turned up my own audio.
No, I'm trying to not increase the like stream audio. I was trying to up your audio in Discord, and I don't see the like, the percentage bar.
Oh yeah, the percentage bar.
I don't see it anywhere. Shrug.
Oh, it's under the 3-dot option. If you hover over my picture, and there'll be the 3 dots. And then you can use the user volume slide.
Man, I'm stupid. I don't see this shit. Whatever. I'm just gonna. Hopefully, this is good enough. And if it's not good enough, you guys tell me, chat, and I'll look into it some more.
Yep.
Yeah. What I was theoretically, you still have the gold. I want to play the tip. Draw off of gold if there's a blue on top. Play the Sawbones, or I mean, in my reality, we have the Sawbones in play, but it's play the Rigor Mortis and play the swing the Rigor Mortis and swing the Swabby. Swing both guys, establish another guy. That way we get to tap all 3 Sawbones, but surely we cast this tip the barkeep. What are we doing?
Go again. 5 resources floating. Pretty easy, no blocks here declared by Jacob Clements.
Ideal to start here with a swell, meaning Antonio is able to float.
Yeah, I would have
float
definitely
resources,
not
sorry,
tapped
even
one of
through
my
attacking
Sawbones, I
something
think,
like a
in
Swabby,
just
or in this
one
case,
7
developing
to
another
6.
Sawbones in this matchup. Jacob could reach, I think, up to 11 with an
Maybe it's
amp,
because I'm in streamer mode.
10 with an amp. Could be threatening Antonio, but with all this resource float, he's going to be protecting himself against whatever Jacob chooses to do on Storm Striders, if he could do it.
The third Sawbones adding another theoretical layer of defense to Antonio Cutter's position. The army defends.
Yeah, if you right click over my portrait, you should be able to
3 resources float.
also change my volume.
I'm gonna change what I'm streaming and stream my Discord to you, and you tell me what I'm doing wrong.
Womp womp.
Where the fuck is Discord? Do you see it?
Should be. Why is your do this.
I need more than this.
Oh, I'm trying to think about how. Click into.
Okay, it's not me. It's not me.
It's not you. It is really weird from your side. What is going on here? Mine doesn't look like that at all. Stop sharing, and then
okay. When I stopped sharing, now it showed up.
There we go. Yep.
Okay, I upped Cody's volume. Can you talk for a sec, Cody, and chat? Tell me how he sounds.
Yeah, let's see how I sound now. We have to do these checks all the time when we're doing the podcast, so I'm used to it. Hopefully they can actually hear me.
You do sound much louder on my end, so I think that should be good.
Okay.
At least it wasn't me.
No, it was not you. when you were sharing and there's no one, it doesn't show anyone else. There's nowhere for you to click, so I don't think it was possible while you were sharing your screen.
Yeah, that's so weird.
First time a tech issue is not your fault.
Bro, it's never my fault. All the crashes during pod is not my fault. I did nothing wrong. I put myself in the did nothing wrong tier.
So theoretically 2 damage preventable as things currently stand.
Okay.
Jacob continuing to be able to enact the game plan of present a little bit of arcane, tap down
I guess
Sawbones defensively on his own.
I mean, the game's so scuffed from this point.
Draw the hand that can kill Antonio.
Yeah, we're so many alternate timelines deep.
And maybe one of those pulsings in this case choosing to keep. Oh, sorry, one of
those. Like especially this turn. Like this turn is just not real. Like he should be swinging. Should be swinging 13 here and just being like, "What are you gonna do about this?"
With a bit of a puzzle and having to tap those Sawbones and then continuing to hope maybe I chip him down.
Ironically, I still don't understand how Jacob even wins from this spot because we have 3 Sawbones in play.
Something like 9.
We do see Rootbound Carapace decomposing, Jacob Clements falling down.
Deck's pretty good on small hands.
Keep their follow-up coming together.
And if you're not swinging 2 allies, you're not putting any pressure out. And you essentially can't tap too much to big spells. And then
how does Jacob ever win if all we do for the rest of the game is activate 3 Sawbones, AB, whatever he does, swing Swabby?
Like he should. I think we should leak at some point, right?
Yeah, right.
We end up leaking, and then he taps us down, and then kills us with a big spell.
But he's running out of 6 damage spells. I think he only has like 1 or 2 left in the deck. So even then, it's leak 2 points of damage total.
He can play some 2-card hands. I'm trying to think of not what happens here, but like what actually could happen. He could play some 2-card hands that let him heal. So he could heal out of a range in which he can then hold a bigger hand, and then we have to play the game. That's the only thing I can think
Okay.
of.
But then if he does that, we get to keep a bigger hand on the gravy side, right?
Yeah, hopefully. But all of our hands don't always function, right? They should at this
Sure.
point, but
Yeah, it's like if that happens and we have a tip the barkeep, all of that healing was for naught, right?
yep. I think it also depends on how many fellings he has left.
Sure.
Because that's a way to eat a lot of our cards as well.
It's for Antonio Cutter to consider.
Also, hold on.
But I agree with you. We should
Maybe
not lose the game from this spot.
you
But there
also
are a
can't
couple of, I think,
clear
avenues that I've seen this end up happening
spot
where you
map
end up
and
losing.
growth.
But really, you
Definitely
just
part of
swing
the
2
trade-off.
dudes, you win the
Traditional
game.
math in a matchup like this can lead to some surprising victories, ranges.
Yeah, on the
either
previous turn.
player believed to be possible. We do see a Fiddler's Green
Yeah,
here
almost any of them.
in hand for Antonio Cutter. No gold available.
Can you
Bin
share
that
your
instant speed with
oh,
Gravy
you are
Bones
sharing
for a
out your
card that
screen.
could
It's just not showing.
theoretically gain some life
Oh, you're
if
just
they
sharing
were
out yourself.
found to discard it, a la perhaps Golden Tipple.
Huh?
But a red
Oh,
for now.
I got it.
Not ideal.
We're good.
But soaking up arcane damage.
Was it me again? Not me again?
No, it was not you. This one was me. It locked me in your portrait. All I was staring at was your beautiful face. And
Pulsing Aether to kill a Sovereigns and then not waste some of the value that you get in this turn. So Jacob just, I think, pushing it all to face and asking Antonio a question.
Difficult hand to navigate here for Antonio. Murderous Rabble, Rigor Mortis, Golden Tipple, and the aforementioned Fiddler's Green here. It will be the
Okay. Also,
it can't be too.
every time I see him put his hand up, did you see the reporter that interviewed Trump like a few months ago, where he's holding up the like photoshopped image of the guy with the MS-13 tattoo on his hand? For some reason, every time I see the 51 on his hand, all I can think of is that. It says it right there, clear as day, MS-13. Okay, that's clearly a Photoshop, but let's move on to the next question. Whoa. Harry. Are you telling me this is Photoshopped?
Rabble there reaching
I lost my shit watching that.
Damage. And then, of course, Pulsing Aether immediately afterwards going to be responded to by
Okay, that's a
Rabble.
way we can decease ourselves, I guess.
Well, now the game's well. He shouldn't have been able to hold all these cards.
On the Pulsing Aether, trying to bring it up to 6. Going to try and
if we just swing 13, he like is so screwed by having that amp card in his hand.
Can do the rest of the work.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised to see how he boarded, bringing in the pots and the ramps.
Float from this Rabble, 3 possible prevention floating.
I was very surprised by the pots. To be fair. The amp cards, whatever. Some people do that just to make sure you have reach, but like also pots. Cool.
Of course, we happen to know that his turn is not supremely.
He's ready for the fatigue gravy.
That Fiddler's Green reached for.
Yeah. Womp womp. Have to pitch fiddlers.
Multiple Sawbones activations here. So 2 prevented, 3 more prevented courtesy of Sawbones. Therefore, 1 point of arcane damage coming through brings Antonio Cutter to 10. Now 10. Just got to double check my math. 7 points of damage coming up and over the line. Let's see what we're working with for Jacob Clemens. Heart of Fiendel in hand here.
Oh my goodness. That's a lot of life gain.
Emeritus Scolding and an Everbloom Life. Taking a moment to fan through the decomposition.
When we don't take cards out of their hand.
Away.
Are left, how many Earth cards remain, what other cards are still in the deck.
Everything was fine, legitimately, until they didn't swing 13 off of the tip the barkeep. Like as soon as he didn't swing the tip the barkeep 13, it was like the whole game ended.
And the remaining tools of Gravy Bones, Shipwreck Looter.
God, it would have been sick to have the Heart of Fiendel and the Rampant Growth on the same turn, but no Rampant Growth here for Jacob. Contemplating the way he's defending, probably going to push 2 cards, I'd imagine, in front of this and continue to try to play this
This feels so tough to continue watching.
Kind of game out of Antonio.
It's like, you already know what's going to happen.
A attrition battle, no doubt, as both players continue trading resources turn after turn. Worth noting,
block 1 card, go low, heal up, deal a bunch of damage.
In round
or you're gonna block 2.
The players been playing at a pretty reasonable brisk pace with so many complicated decisions to be made, but not infinite time remaining as we dwindle down to the final resources in each of their decks.
And one of the things
do you know
point out there is
what his other card is? Is it like a tip?
Going to time, or that they're taking
the card in
is
hand.
it a tipple?
Yeah, I saw Tipple in his hand at one point. I don't know if he pitched it. I don't think he did.
Time being lost in these upcoming turns. So Jacob starts to have to rush himself while making some of these deep decisions, or Antonio taps something in the wrong timing, like taps a Sawbones for not much
I'd be
value
down
and
for
misses on it to
Heart of
protect
Fiendel to be
himself.
Earth
These
just
are
so it'll
risks
go
that you
down in
take,
price.
as you
I
let
hate
the
these
clock run
Fables
down.
being so expensive.
Fantastic call.
I don't want to own these
As we make
cards.
our way back into Jacob's turn. Did
I'm probably gonna sell
decide
my
the line was to fall to
Treasure
one
of
life
whatever
here. Only briefly, of course.
Topoldani, whatever the
Fruits
fuck
of the
that card is
Forest,
called
Heart of
after
Fiendel,
Worlds.
Even Everbloom Life likely to play a part in
The only
that
expensive
equation.
cards I like to own are reserveless
As
cards.
Jacob contemplates how to utilize these cards to their best effect. A couple of life gain effects available, a couple of Verdance triggers no doubt incoming. But wants to smoke screen that information as much as possible for as long as they can. So Fruits of the Forest, 2 life gained, Verdance trigger. Let's see how Antonio chooses to respond.
Okay. We've gained health. We are pinging for 1.
Interesting.
Oh, at the
Targeting
Sawbones.
Sawbones with the Verdance trigger. Jacob decides the best solution in this spot
That's when
is to
Antonio should have
start
been like,
getting rid
at
of this
Sawbones?
protection.
Yeah.
Heart of Fiendel or Burn Bear targeting you. Heart trigger triggers Verdance, targets Sawbones. Now what do? You can save a Sawbones if you want, but it will cost you the Sawbones activation, which is less life you're preventing from the Burn Bear that is going at your face.
And there is still a life
I mean, it doesn't matter, you still have to
available, that
activate it,
Everbloom
right?
life that's kept in hand.
It
Yeah,
either
yeah,
just
it always
dies
comes back.
or
Commits all of these
yeah.
Sawbones to protect the Sawbones and to protect
there's no
himself.
choice.
Then that Sawbones will still have 1 life left available at the end of this thing, and Jacob can just
I just
ping it
want them to
down
reprint
with
the
an instant
Fables at
speed
this
at the end of
point.
the
Like,
turn.
I've been wanting non-foil Fables for so
Rigor
long.
Mortis, Saltwater Swell, and a murderous rabble here for Antonio as the Sawbones machine continues churning to prevention. Scuba pitched for 2 more Arcane Barrier. 4 damage.
I'd like to
soaked up.
point out
Antonio Carter
how
falling
smart
to
this
8,
play
now in
was
range
from
of the big
Jacob.
Verdance
It looks really
finish.
dumb,
And now Jacob
but
Clements must
he's
pause and
essentially
think. This
pinging
extra
the
point of
Sawbones
damage going
just to
directly
lower
at
the
Antonio
amount of
Carter.
null
Worth the
rune
card
that's
it will
available
earn,
for his opponent,
or should
so that he
this
has to
Sawbones be
take
eliminated
actual damage
while
from
the
this Burn
opportunity
Bear.
is
I don't think
available?
many
I think
people
it
see
went
this
exactly
play,
as he
almost
wanted
ever.
it to.
I
He
think
wanted
this
to
is a
go
very,
zero
very
piece
smart
the
play
choice in
from
killing that first Sawbones
Clemens.
by having all of the other Sawbones tapped to protect Antonio's
Yeah,
face.
guarantees some
The
true
life
damage.
totals, by the way, right now are 4 to 8.
Yes.
They're not updated on the screen.
He's
And
he's
the
playing
life
to his
counts are
exact
finding
out,
velocity
which is
with
like
cards for
I'm
Jacob
gonna
can
have
think
to
on
like
where he
exact
wants
him at some
to
point in
throw
time because
the
his
Verdance
board's
ping,
too
or
big.
whether he wants to
So
just
every
hold
little
it
point of
and go
damage that I
more
can
damage
possibly
phase
swing in
or
is
next turn
important.
or in this
And
case,
dealing the
waning
2
moon.
at the face, he can just
Interesting
block it with
decision here. Waning Moon
by pitching a
pushing
card.
additional
But
damage
if I make him
towards
tap the
Antonio's
Sawbones,
face.
then
Can, of
he
course,
has to
just
take
relinquish
1
a
damage
card
from
if
the
that's
Burn
how
Bear instead of
Antonio
taking
wishes to play.
0.
Keep playing this battle of attrition with limited resources. We'll see a compass peak before we decide how to navigate the 2 arcane damage found within. Dangerous territory here with all 3 Sawbones tapped down.
It's kind of spooky here you're actually playing the Tipple, because if you play the Tipple, you might tap out by too much, but we're probably out of reach here. Because you can only deal what 9 arcane.
10 if he was playing the amp
in their own turn.
Fable.
And that's what taking an extra card helps you with.
Or he
well.
draws into
I
random
like
growth.
that Jacob took this line. Obviously,
Yes,
you
I
can
have
look back
died
on the turn
to
and say, oh, you
amp
missed
Fable
1
too
point
many
of damage
times
because
that I
Verdance
always am
could have
like,
gone face, given
they
that
could
it
have
didn't
that.
successfully kill the Sawbones. But what he gave
From
himself the
Verdance?
opportunity to do is respond in a way
From
that Antonio
yes, from Verdance
couldn't.
and other
Give
wizards.
himself a
I
chance
have
to
some
kill
I've
the
never
Sawbones
seen a
if he
Verdance
wanted
play
to.
that.
crackpot
Ultimately,
locals.
he decided, actually, now that it's played
Well.
out this way, I want to force you off a card.
It's worth mentioning, of course, that decision tree.
No
puts
one had
down
ever
to the
seen
mind
the
of Antonio
all
Carter as well.
arcane
Suddenly,
Acilio
the
either
first
until
moment
he
was
showed up
happily
and
ignoring the
everyone ran
Sawbones
1
the
AB into
entire
him
game,
and
decides now
he pretended
is
he
the
was
moment to
Kano.
try and remove one from the board. What could that
He would have
possibly
loved me
mean? And as a
running
result,
potentially
affects those
0.
decisions. Maybe you pitch differently. Maybe you handle things differently.
Dude, he almost
Trying to
topped.
figure out exactly
It's crazy.
why they have changed their mind. For now, Antonio Cutter is our active player. 2 cards in hand. Saltwater Swell and Murderous Rabble chooses to play it safe once more. Swabby will be the only
Okay, well, if you're
choice
gonna-
this time. Gonna keep a blue in hand and make sure we stay out
He
of
took the
range of
damage.
any of those big
Womp womp.
arcane effects.
More life gain available here for Jacob if he wants to play on his turn with that heartbeat of Candlehold
Yeah.
turning into an
Womp
awkward
womp.
interaction with Antonio. There's going to be 3 life gain, 3 AB, 2 Waning Moon if he wants to buff it up as well. That continues to push Antonio deeper into that kill range for Jacob Clemens.
Antonio taking a moment to pause and see how many of these effects are left, how many they have to respect, and whether or not Murderous Rabble is a worthwhile risk to take. And this is a hand
I don't want to
they
harp
need
on
to take cards from
Antonio
Jacob
too
Clemens.
hard.
We see Heartbeat of
It's a hard
Candlehold
game.
and
It's a hard
Felling of the
deck.
Crown, 2 of the most
It's gotta be
powerful
stressful,
majesticks in
but
these endgame
gotta go back
scenarios.
to the drawing board
Antonio
on
kinda
the
plays it
Verdance
safe.
matchup.
Jacob Clemens has the breathing room to mount a serious comeback.
I think there's some Verdance matchup specific things, but as we talked about earlier in the video, I think there's some like fundamental gravy things that he could have worked on. And like, hopefully this gets to him and he sees it and you can see some of the feedback given. Because none of it's coming from a place of like trying to shit on him or anything like that.
but a good
Yeah,
Arsenal
yeah, yeah.
nonetheless.
The point here is to
going
learn
wider
and get
in the
better
future.
and
Jacob
try to
Player,
give
one
value
damage for it,
to the
down
viewers
to
at least.
Sawbones' army readies up to
And like
fend
the
at this
against
point-
decision
Arsenal
making
once more,
behind
and they'll
why
need
you
to,
Arsenal
because there's a
specific
felling of the
cards,
crown
I
on the
think
other
was
side
an
of the table.
incredibly big
Important to
takeaway
note
for
was the
him in
tipple
this
was that
game.
it demanded 2 blocks out of Swabby, or onto Swabby out of Jacob. He couldn't just throw down maybe a D-react if he had drawn it. It would have
Yeah,
been
the main
lethal
issue
through that. So
here
in this case,
is
Jacob finding that the
we
average
gave
of
up
the
that
turn
damage.
demanded that he throw 2 cards down, and he's preferring to block
If we
one
like,
of those
we're still
blues,
at 10 here.
not hold
We
on
feel
to the
pretty
Heartbeat of
okay.
Penal hold for life gain, but instead hold on to the Felling of the Crown for disruption. And I mean, 8 damage. 8 damage is lethal. It is demanding blocks, and it is, if you only block 6 here, it is turning into actual
Dude,
damage.
it's still so
Bottom
hard to
6
see how
for
you lose from
Sawbones
this spot.
as 3 minutes remain on the clock. We'll see a compass activation from Antonio for information. The last card in hand, Riches of Tropal Dani. We're going to see a call to the grave on top of the deck for this murderous rabble as Light Up the Leaves makes it into the hand of Jacob Clemens. The big arcane effect
So Antonio's
is
at
here,
an
alongside
effective
an arcane twinning.
Not able
11?
to pay for it all, unfortunately, as there is a blue and a yellow as those last 2 cards, which can't pay for the boots, the light
yeah,
of
if he
the leaves,
doesn't-
and the waning moon.
if he
and
swings like
discard of
Chum
the
or
arcane
something,
twining. He
then
could, of course,
yes.
pay for it without the
Well,
arcane twining, but I don't
He has
think
Jacob
riches,
has
he has
to
riches
bl-
in his hand.
through 1 Sawbone.
Jacob has to block this.
AB3, that would be
Yeah.
12 damage needed to kill Antonio.
Ring of Roses declared on blocking duty, does soak up 3 damage. We're going to see Riches of Tropal Dani in the hand here for Antonio Cutter.
You could also
If they blink,
Don't do it.
if Antonio spends 2
No,
resources
no, no.
to attack with Swabby,
I think
they're
then he's dead.
undefended.
Then he's
I know what you're
I don't think
thinking.
you
Don't
can-
do it.
then he takes
but
9.
can you even win the
Even with
game if you
one
don't?
Sawbones that's active, they would take 8,
And
which would be enough.
Yeah, you try again next turn.
I mean, he could also alternatively attack with a
Who
Sawbone,
knows?
but
You
then
just
it's
get-
gone,
get
and
through
then
all
he
of his
could
cards.
possibly be risking death as well. Maybe he wants to attack with the
Swing the
Chum,
Chum,
but
he has to
then
give you
one
another
card
card.
out of Jacob, allowing Jacob
He
to
goes to his
continue
turn with 2
his turn
cards.
on
He
top
throws
and
what?
set off
A
that
big
light
spell at you?
ability
He
into the
can't.
arsenal.
He can't throw a big spell at
Antonio
you. What does he do?
deep in thought here.
The Riches of
Patience.
Dani, the deep breath, 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining on the clock as Antonio Cutter needs to decide which of these allies will decide his fate. One of these
If you want to get,
decide for our
if
top 8.
you
The other one
could
is eliminated
play
based solely
uh,
on
Rigor
his
Mortis here,
choice. Riches of Treble Dani
pitching that to get
pays
the
for
gold,
Swabby
and then
to
swing
attack. There were
Chum
no
if you want to get it
resources
out of your
taken.
hand.
A gold
That's
token
the only other
not
thing I think
yet
you can
made.
possibly
Jacob
do.
gonna
But you need to
respond
keep one
there.
up
Stormstrike
on
is
top of.
activation, pitching to light
Yeah,
up the leaves. It's
and
waiting,
that's
Moon's
it.
8 damage over the line.
But
Tragedy.
if you just swing like Chum here and hold the card up, then what does Jacob even do? He's gonna block for 3, or he actually ends up probably blocking with both and setting light up the leaves, and then you're like super gat. Like, he literally has no play if you hold up enough to not die.
I think it depends if he has another 6 in the deck, right? Because he could just block, go to 1, play the light up the leaves, get 1 point to chip, and then have the out of drawing into a 6 or into
light,
any
light
amp.
up the leaves. Light up the leaves doesn't get any chip, right?
AB2
Oh,
plus
it gets
3
one
sawbones.
one chip. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And then
Yeah,
you
'cause
give
it's
yourself
at
the out of
7.
drawing into another light up the leaves or something plus an amp.
Yep, that's probably the best play.
But that depends on what's left in deck. I don't fucking know at this point.
That's still pretty hard. I know. If we just also don't take the two damage.
Sure. There's a lot of things that went wrong that game. I think Jacob played pretty good. I liked, I mean, simple deck, right? Just like send your damage, heal. I feel like there's less onus on him
his
to
late
like
game-
make decisions.
His late game
Sure.
navigation to play to exactly his out. Fantastic.
Sure, I definitely agree with that.
That's what matters in tournaments, right? Like that. Those are the decisions that let you do well.
All right, I love watching Michael games because he always gets incredibly unlucky and then still finds the out.
Yeah, that is the ideal opening.
But given that he didn't top 8, I'm ready to see him just get like raffle stomped here.
Going first, your opponent likes going first. This is all upside here.
Well, considering
I
one
feel
of these
like-
people did top 8.
You're gonna get that Tekla pounder out.
Okay, I didn't know that.
More offense is all you wanna do.
Because whenever I see him on stream, I'm just like, all right, here it is. Here's the incredible unluck.
In this matchup. I think even
Time to watch a really cursed game. Oh my god.
Gravy Bones has a bad matchup into decks like Leo and Syndrome.
Michael's face is just like, cool, 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 cool.
The people who have put a lot
He
of
probably
won the
literally
dice
said
roll.
that.
have found additional ways
Yeah.
to explore the matchup, expand on their knowledge.
Did you say should have won the dice
Just-
roll?
And
Yeah, just win the dice roll, forehead.
through the offense. We saw Justin Justin Koo from the Philippines make it to the finals last week.
Oh,
Cinder in the finals, but also beat
the luck is swinging.
So we know that
Swinging
those
back.
matchups are winnable.
Pretty much the perfect start here for Vara. We see a boom grenade off the top in addition to that Teklo Pounder. And the first hand drawn up, Teklo
Michael, show us your hand.
penetration script.
I want to see what you're working with.
Velocity and zipper hit.
A bit of an unfortunate timing for this penetration script.
They got to invest
I
in
can see the
better hand
argument for
cams.
getting it. You wanna be able
I think
to
there's a
preserve
prismatic in
some
there, maybe
power and
2.
come in quite offensively.
Are we
with
drawing?
this, you know, it gives you basically +6.
Oh,
It helps you
must
kill
be good.
some high health allies,
Or just a
with
blue
the super
attack.
hit and pen script helping you kill a chum. But here, when you
Okay.
get max V, you really wish you had another boost attack available.
Are we fiddling?
We'll see Call to the Grave fetching up
Surely
an
we
ally
didn't
of
draw to
choice,
fiddle.
plunging it down to the depths for Mike.
I don't think we're diddling.
Pausing here to deliberate their best option in this scenario.
I mean, I
because
wouldn't pop
Shimmer's
my gold for
already
that.
made its way down into the yard for later
What?
benefit.
The only
I'd be
playable
surprised to see
thing,
that
if you
chum
say we have
move
2
too early.
prismatics in our
It
hand, the only
might
playable card is
actually
Rigor Mortis.
facilitate it. Might end up being something like a Sawbones if they're a little.
You could grab a chum and
resource
pitch one of the
light.
prismatics.
We could.
Beautiful sound.
I'm assuming if we want to.
He thinks about what he wants to choose.
I just don't. I don't think that wins the. I don't think that wins this game.
Mortis is the ally of
Not when
choice
your
for
opponent
Michael.
opens this
I think
this
this
way.
is very telling about how they
Like,
intend
don't you
to
have to
play
actually
this
race
matchup.
them damage wise? Actually, I think that's an interesting thing to talk about.
Rigor
Do you
Mortis
think you
very
can
deep
play defensive here?
Jenny, if we're going by how Justin's games went last week against
The chum
Sigma,
might eat a lot
the
of
way you
damage,
win is by
and then
presenting
like it buys you
really
space.
efficient damage allies
It-
like Rigor,
It'll only
defensive like
it would eat a
Sawbones,
lot of damage and eat the
and presenting
eat one
counters
attack
and other,
essentially.
big attacks
And then you
at
can
the end.
block
So
to
Rigor
stop the
gonna
boom from
wanna be able
happening.
to basically
I'm sorry, Gabe. I don't mean to interrupt you, but that appears to be a pair of prismatic ley lines.
I
Would
think
you
it's a
make
yellow
the deal to
boom.
make this rigor mortis?
Like I think there's an argument for trying to fight over the boom grenade with the chum.
10 points of power.
Okay.
And
I don't know if it's correct, but I think there's an argument for it at
and
least.
This is backing up what I was
I think this play
implying.
makes sense
He's
to me
just-
though.
His goal is deal
Yeah, it makes sense to me too. If this is the way that you want to play this game,
use of prismatic ley
makes
lines,
sense.
because those is only
I'm just gonna
converted
kill you.
Especially
Whatever.
because this is
especially
one
with a boom
card
grenade
that he
and
felt that he's
a
ready to
Teklo pounder.
present.
Maybe if he doesn't have the Teklo pounder there,
Decks that he's
I would
adopted.
be more inclined to like fight over with chum. But with the Teklo pounder out as well,
Big numbers as they are putting out, and in this case, that's exactly what he's
I'd like to see what the last card is though.
doing. If the rigor sticks around, he's got a really
where'd he
efficient way to deal
get that
damage
last
to
card
cards
from?
as well.
He played chart, prismatic, drew a card off of the pitch from the chart, and then just has
It was
a
call.
card out.
Oh, it just has the other card. Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. That's why I'm curious what the last card was.
It wasn't a blue attack. We know that for sure.
I don't think it's a Conqueror of the High Seas. That would have made sense to actually cast here. You just go conk into
Clear way to clear out rigor mortis this turn, and it's coming
Rig-
in with a
Oyston.
symbiosis shot at the end of the chain, and that's Dio's tool to clear these 1 and 2 health allies that are.
That seems like a great turn. You go prismatic,
3, 4,
prismatic,
6 health allies
conk,
that are a little
Oyston.
bit,
Yeah.
Easier to clear with your normal cards. You pay 1 card.
Oh,
and
don't
you
tell me it's a
clear it out,
D-react.
but the
Because if it's a
symbiosis shot is
D-react, then we're
great for
100%
clearing rigor
supposed to
mortis and
chum there.
Oyston and limpet as well if the deck
Yeah, fight over the boom grenade. I like that quite a bit depending on what our set is.
Mhm.
Because I can't think of what our arsenal would be beyond that. We would have played a conk. We would have played a blue attack.
Loan Shark, a new addition, of course, to make the most of the gold there. Gonna make up for
It could have been like a
the
port side or something.
exchange the most
Oh,
of the gold
let me
there.
see.
Gonna
Let me
make up for
see.
those lost copies of gold that get hold.
Loot the hold? Is that what that is?
I think so. Surprised you
Were we
didn't
really not
cast that.
Why didn't we cast that on the thing that's swinging for 10?
And then just also we could cast it and then arsenal the prismatic.
Yeah.
You
Agreed.
don't have to come in for 10.
There's no. Surely it's not a loot the hold. It looks like a loot the hold. Well,
Portside exchange, I think the pair of
let's
you
continue the game and find
see
out
this.
because yeah, I would have set
Go again with
set
that,
a prismatic and played the loot the hold
staring down a
and
significant
said, "Give me a
amount of
card,
damage
please."
here. Wouldn't be surprised to see this
Also,
happen.
like, I don't want this loot to hold to
two
go with the Oyston either.
souls.
Like, if he kills the rigor mortis, what are we looting the Oyston or hoping to God we have another way to get an ally in the bin? That's the other reason I like the chum at this phase. It gives us a way to get an ally in the bin while we're not like completely set up yet. Especially if we're going to crack the gold to do this. It like lets us get another thing in the bin.
Playing some amount of defense.
Agreed.
I would gander that Michael was really hoping to see an ally.
It's kind of the same idea as what I was talking about in the previous game of like why I would have liked having the jittery bones in Arsenal instead. We're still in the build phase of the game of like I need to get my engine going.
Play with it from there. As it stands, none of the above. So he's going to probably lean defense, like you said, and continue to wait for a hand that does more later on down the line.
We see that jittery bones reaching forward for now. Michael reevaluating.
Okay. Besides that,
maybe Lone Shark the pick reaches back for jittery.
we block 7 here.
Deliberation here, and that sleeve riffles just doing it for me. Just perfect. Balance of justice here.
Okay.
On
I
defense.
respect
I think he's
this.
booting.
He's
booting.
to get some value against the
Oh,
We're certainly
100%
booting
okay.
now.
Okay.
He's
Okay,
him.
guy.
This is how you
He's
top
him.
it a calling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he was thinking the other one, the yellow one, was
I wish we had a chum in
would
play.
connect into his face anyways.
I guess it
I'm
doesn't matter
stealing
because we
this.
don't have an ally.
Block 7,
Yeah.
because he wasn't expecting.
I
to
am
be able to
stealing
block
this
efficiently
block
if he
pattern
was able to
against
block it
Dio,
down the line.
though.
But then the second one off the top of the deck, I think, makes
Yeah, I
Block
like
threaten
that.
boots in case they just like ranch you.
I still want to know the origin of ranching. Where did that phrase come
I don't know.
from?
It is an old phrase. It's got to be real old.
The hand here isn't fantastic for Varia. We do see.
Oh,
fast
it's a blue?
furious
We get to boots
Oh.
this.
Oh my god, and he gets the counter. Oh
He gets a
my
counter
God.
back.
This is a classic Michael game. Just if your opponent can get lucky, they will get
I
lucky.
really like that. He chose not to use the
Well,
symbiosis shot counter.
We stopped the boom grenades, but it just multiplied.
Into the rigor because
just-
And now we have a and now we get to play this lone shark, I guess. Or did he block? Did he block with a lone shark?
I don't think so. Did he? No. I don't know.
Courtside loan?
No, it's courtside loan. and
I guess we're
Luther
playing-
Holden Arsenal.
I guess we're playing both of these.
Gravy is a fair and balanced hero. Look at how terrible this turn is.
It's fine. We get to loot the whole. Oh my god, having no arsenal actual. Oh my god, that's tough. Having no arsenal would have been sick here too, because then like if we play the port side, the random draw can go in arsenal.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we might be swinging for the hills.
I think this is correct, though. You definitely want to do this instead of playing the lone shark.
Will be the play here for Michael. The poker face of Vari
Did he
is
look?
non-existent.
Oh, he looked with his compass, right?
Yeah, he looked at on his opponent's turn.
Listening, there's also a Teklo core on the board for Vara, so
Oh, he was looking for jittery
uh,
bones
Scott
on
described
his opponent's turn.
definitely be able to go big face into bigger face with the maximum velocity at the end of the turn.
Big face into bigger face.
Okay, we are now back to no gold.
Poetry at its finest. Michael here trying to find a way to.
Do you agree with that
I'm
compass?
compassing on your opponent's turn when you have jittery bones in your hand.
We have
Jittery
what
bones.
was the
loot?
hand? It was port side jittery. I guess I'm also fine like finding an ally on top to draw off of gold and then play the port side to get rid of it. That's probably worse than playing the jittery.
Yeah, I like the compass when you have to figure out like complicated blocks like that, and you also have something that immediately wants to know what the top card of your deck is. I support it in that.
Did we have to make
That
that
aspect.
decision yet?
He did it right before he blocked.
But then the jittery had nothing to do with the blocks, right?
No, he blocked with his jittery bones. This is the second jittery bones, is it not? Yes, this is the second jittery bones. He drew us another one off the port side. If you're talking, I can't hear you.
No, I'm just thinking if I'm supposed to compass here.
Okay.
It's probably not that
So
deep, but
we know we have to block with like we have to block with a card. We have to put a card in front of the card. And so finding out if it's going to be jittery bones or not seems good to me.
I guess if we're gonna do Jittery Bones or draw gold, I kind of don't want to draw an ally. No, we have gold. I'm fine drawing into an ally off a random draw. Because like I'm trying to think of when would I compass if my opponent did stop short and I'm stuck with 2 cards? Would I still compass at the start of my own turn? Or would I blind draw first?
So what are you doing? Blocking loan and pitching something else?
It's probably still fine to look there. I'm just thinking of like what's the most optimal. Because what did he keep? Lone port side?
Yep. I think that's the correct keep
Is it?
for sure.
It could
Nothing
also
else
be
plays, right?
block. Well, it could also just be block with the loan shark here. Keep Jittery Bones port side. And then draw off of gold and see what you draw.
Yeah, but if you draw nothing, then you don't get to do anything.
What would be a nothing, though? Just another blue, I guess?
Yeah.
I guess you only have 1 gold in this situation, so if you draw, you can't actually get rid of an ally. No, because if you get rid of an ally, you have the Jittery in your hand. Yeah, it's probably still... Look. I'm thinking if it's supposed to be holding the Jittery. I guess you look and you see that it's not, and then whatever. I don't know.
I mean, even if you're always, the last card that you're going to keep is always port side, basically, because you could just play the port side, draw a card, and then you're turned on with your Oyston in the bin. And he thought he was going to have to block one more time and use his boots. So
I mean,
I think
you
he
could
was
argue
expecting
that
to have 1 card in his hand.
Well, I think you could argue that the Jittery is the best card in his hand to end up in Arsenal at the end of the turn.
So you're saying he loot the holds, plays a swings Oyston, set Jittery?
Yeah, and then Arsenal Jittery.
I don't really want to play loot the hold on the Oyston. I would have played the loot the hold turn before.
We're in this
but I really don't
we're
want to
in
play
this
it on the
we're
Oyston.
in this timeline. We're in this timeline where we have a loot the hold.
I want to hold the loot the hold for another ally to try and actually get a card later. That's
We
my
don't have any other
thought process here.
allies. But we don't have any other allies.
Correct. So I want to hold my gold, not use it, play port side, play my Oyston swing. I'm still up with the gold at the end of the turn.
And then what? You're just gonna IP the card you draw?
I'm gonna look and see what it is, and we'll go from there. If it's a playable blue, we can play that instead. If it's a dude, then I can put the dude in the bin. I guess we know what's on top because we looked. It depends on what's on top. What did we see? A Jittery Bones on top?
Yeah.
Then we have to make a different play, right?
Which is why I think I'm fine putting that in Arsenal.
Yeah. If I draw the Jittery Bones off of the port side, which either way, we're still compassing on that turn. Unless there's a dude after this, then you get to play the Jittery Bones.
I love hour-long conversations about how to compass.
I think only we do, though. I'm pretty sure you've literally lost 10 viewers. 11 viewers because we keep talking about this compass spot.
Compass is my entire reason I like playing Gravy, I think.
Well, 11 people disagreed.
To establish a board presence, has managed to hold on to full 40 life so far.
How does someone...
True. 10 bots. I lost the paid bots.
Yeah. People asked how we spent 30 hours on one fatigue matchup. This is how. This is the type of nuance discussion that leads to you spending 30 plus hours on one matchup.
Oh, were people questioning that on the pod?
Oh, they were just asking about, did we really spend that much time on Bravo fatigue back for that national? So it was like, yes. We also had to invent how fatigue worked.
I remember seeing that shit going on Discord on TTS forever.
Could play an important role.
Yep, it was about 30 hours. We just for one matchup, we all basically played one Bravo, beat the matchup, and it was well worth it. People just forget that seeds have been banned, and we had to literally invent the pitch stack and what it was supposed to look like.
Oh my god!
Is this a raw hook?
No, he port-sided. This is still that turn.
Oh,
we talked so long about the compass, we forgot we were still on this turn.
Oh, I forgot he had more cards. I thought he was out of cards.
Isn't it just play the Fearless?
So maybe there's argument to just let this gold come through in case there's something more risky on the opposite end.
Well, Fearless is a generic attack.
Looks like it's probably just an oyster.
Oh, he can't hook it.
And Michael was just making most use of his hand. So
don't you surely?
Because he had access to it.
Oh, he wanted to do both. That's why. Unfortunately, he. I guess you get the helmet here, or you get a card. I like this ordering. I think this makes sense for what he was trying to accomplish. Is that why he kept the loot? Was he thought maybe to have a better hand and he could get a card off of the hook and then play loot and then get another card to get 2 cards out of his hand on one turn?
The chain break
It's interesting.
is helping Vara get away with the slight punish on choosing to block the 2 against the golden tipple, but it's actually not a punish here.
I think I still really disagree with the loot the whole choice, but we've harped on that enough.
I agree. I'm just trying to think about what the thought process was, right? Like,
yeah.
It was not the boom grenade. Chose to sink a 0 knowing there was another 0 on top of the deck.
Because there might be a situation in which I don't loot that situation because I want to get like 2 cards later, and maybe that is a play that I should think about more often, right? Probably not, but maybe.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
He is so fucked.
If he could just block this one turn here. Surely we don't have any allies in our hand that we needed any of those gold for on the previous turn. Surely not.
A rather impressive maximum velocity.
Yeah, and so
Nope.
I think I hinted at the way
It's fine. We can pitch our allies into our. Oh wait.
Hold on a second.
Is that a
man? If only we had
3
kept a gold. Yeah. I'm gonna guess there's a red on top.
that sounds like something that would happen to him. Oh no.
Sometimes you just get
Oh no.
Not necessarily guaranteed block value. We see these grenades going off in quick succession. What was once 40 is now.
This feels like a very classic Fang game.
Yeah.
Brute forces its way through balance of justice.
Did you watch the Battle Hardened game between him and Hamilton?
The block from gold baited hook.
When was this?
Right before the Pro
yes,
Tour.
Yes.
That one also felt like a classic Hamilton and classic Fang game.
Yeah, we were talking about it. I said Fang looked like he really knew what was going on in the mirror. And Hamilton looked a little behind, and then Fang drew a hand that literally pushed 0 damage and immediately lost the game. He was like infinitely ahead, draws a hand that literally does nothing, and goes, "Oh, I think I've lost the game now."
Banished from the top up to 3 resources, more than enough. I can't help but feel like this is
I understand his pain.
from the top of the deck camp. Both players.
God, how much damage was this turn?
That it would be both players look at.
Is this a 40 damage turn?
Of the format that look at the top of their deck at all or so frequently?
What was it? 5, 6, 7,
I'm just
9,
a little bit stunned. It's the right
12.
move to go for the Foundry Heart there. You get a little bit of a peek before you plan out the rest of your turn. Maybe
I think
there
we're
will
at
be a
what, 19
back
right now?
or a-
19
or a,
damage?
Item
Oh my god, another item.
In this case, he's happy playing this one after.
Stop, he's already
Found off the
dead.
top here, choosing not to crank this, and the exclamation of no, please, not like this from Michael Fung as the Goliath gauntlet breaks.
Oh my god.
Velocity is achieved. A small
Did you see it? You see the Fang sigh?
damage to round off this turn.
The whole chest. You got to do it with your whole chest to do the Fang sigh.
And if you're keeping track at home, I believe Michael started the turn on 40, so this is a total of 20 damage dealt through, I think, 1 unblock.
Every time you play against Feng, that's your favorite. That's my favorite moment when he goes. You know you really got him when he has to do that.
What was it? 2 red and a yellow boom.
When you're at 8 health,
Yeah, 2 red,
your
yellow
opponent
boom.
has 1 counter remaining on their tech load.
Infinite damage turn. That's great. That was a good turn.
Possibly imagine.
No, I have a worse feeling for you.
Now let's see what the Gravy Bones could do.
Saltwater Swell, finding resources,
3 pass. Oh wait, we got a Oyston 6 pass.
Quickly ignored by Warrior Sevens. Gold-baited hook
Oh.
activated.
Oh!
Oh, big boy turn.
Nothing in Arsenal. So not a massive threat, but 8 points of go again damage completely ignored by our Dash.io player.
This is exactly the way that Michael could win this matchup. He just needed this very hand to come last turn instead of come this turn, you know?
Hey, he's making it a game.
Offensively potent turn. It's efficient on account of the fact that he's...
Okay, now we end on a chum.
Aw. Rigor Mortis is still pretty good to end on.
I mean, Rigor Mortis is good. Chum, 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 chum. Oh, womp womp.
I might have just set that.
I think you had to go.
What do you
have
hit
to
off
go
the
for it
chart that
there?
matters?
Yeah, let me think. Let's think. Just chum. Is it literally just chum?
Because like you could also just set that, and that's your pitch card for next turn, so that way you can block 4 cards.
Yeah. Oh, did he need a gold? No, he had a gold. Where did his gold go? Oh, he had the hero power to get the hero. Okay. No, maybe did he need a gold going into the next round to be able to live from 8?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Emerging from the depths and swinging across here. Vare taking a look at that top card of the deck before deciding if any blocks are...
What did he draw the
We will use that life total as a cushion once
the
more
chart
and
off
continue
of hero
the
ability?
assault. Saltwater Swell, finding resources.
Can't tell what the last
five
card is.
available here.
I'm gonna have to assume so because because he plays a conch here, right?
Yeah, he puts the last card in his hand's like garbage.
It's the Rigor Mortis.
Okay, last card is the Rigor Mortis. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yep.
Because otherwise you would just set the throw caution to the wind.
Yeah. Okay. I think when you're this far behind, they have a whole grip, and they have the backup, and they have that. Yeah, I think you have to go for this. You're going for like a gold or just a chum high roll, I think.
We see Rigor Mortis emerging from the depths and swinging
Reasonable, I
across
guess.
here.
Yeah, I think you really need the gold is really the issue, right?
Of the deck before deciding if any blocks are of interest, but no, we will use that.
Man, can we just get like sack an ally card so I can sack Oystons?
Yeah, it's called Midas Touch. That's in my maybe board.
Yeah.
Just unfortunately, as you kind of alluded to.
Think of every Verdance game that you play a chum and then it ends on the board at the very end of the game and then you never attack with it again.
We just saw it on display, and if he's able to live through this hand,
maybe it's a Midas Touch angle in that matchup.
Maybe.
That'd be some crackhead shit. I did say I wanted more yellows in the deck.
You could block with it, and you get a gold off of it.
Best mode of yellows.
If he's not able to get off the max velocity, then Vara, I think.
What about boots?
Knows he's not just threatening the 8; he's threatening cards out of the hand as well from Michael, and then he's comfortable going to 9. He says, "Cool, Michael, you did your job."
How many allies is that?
I did it.
Is that 2 allies?
I'm still winning the game, even through your big turn.
Oh man, if only we had a gold.
I can't tell if that's an ally or if it's a.
That's an ally. There's a chum. He was almost at the chum. His chart almost chummed.
Doesn't necessarily know that. Debating.
I think it's 1 ally.
In some way or another. A cerebellum processor here would be rather painful. I'm glad you agree.
Do you know the color?
I wonder how much different this game is if you looted the hold on turn 1 when you swung for 10, or even just swing for 8. I wonder how different the game is.
I think it's a pretty big difference there, because you ended the turn with 1 card in hand, and it was the 2 for 10.
Some of them make
Yeah.
blockchain.
He just said it?
You mentioned Vara's lack of poker face.
'Cause all he
earlier.
did
Certainly
was, like-
understood again. He's a joyful guy.
Didn't he just, like,
Always
play a
playing
single
out his
attack?
deck and,
No, he swung 2
realizing not only
attacks.
is
He probably just gets rid of
having
what
up
the
hand in
T.
game, he's possibly going
the
to lead
T-bone?
to at 7-1,
So he
and
just swings
possibly gets the
7
reds, and he beat Michael Funk
play-
right away.
I think that's what I was going to say.
Oh, right. The second attack went into the rigor
You need
mortis.
to realize not everyone has had the experience in the feature match area, and even fewer people have been in a feature match area at 6-1 against Michael Fung. And we're not only there, we're staring down the
think-
game,
Okay, I was right,
staring
Call of the
down a
Grave.
boom grenade from the top
Hey,
of
Fab
the
Blazing,
deck
what's up?
that may allow Vare 7s to move on to 7-1 at the end of the day.
You missed it. We almost talked about you earlier.
Process, fast and furious off the top
Someone
there.
gave me the
Gonna
opportunity to
buy an
plug
extra
your site,
team counter here as well, just in
and then
case
I
things
pointed
don't
out that I'm
quite
not
go
paid to
Vare's
plug your
way.
site.
Putting that
Yet.
boom grenade tells you that he is planning on popping the protocol this turn as well. So Vara is pleased with how things have been going, and yeah, like you say, it's not every day you get the opportunity to play these matchups against top players.
got rid of the
Play
chum.
it in a position where it matters.
Yeah,
as
Cody's paid
well,
to plug
and
you
it's
guys,
gonna
not
be
me.
one of those very formative moments for
You have the
to
power to
really
change this,
come
though.
in, revel in it. The game's a game. Have fun.
Absolutely, this should mean something.
Oh,
That's what
no.
makes this important. It's a game of skill. It's a game of power. It's a game of.
This
talent,
game's
and
over,
I'm
right?
So excited to see these.
Yeah,
players
it's like super over.
successfully navigating these board states. Over
What color is
the
that
course
boom?
of the
Red?
weekend.
Yeah.
0 to 60 is going to be the follow up here. No blocks declared from Michael.
Yeah, it's red.
And there you have
Falling
it. They
down
were
to two.
all blue, and it doesn't matter because all he needs is 3 boost attacks, and then the last attack's gonna come in for 10 with a boom grenade on top.
4 resources floating.
You're gonna pick up the boom
down
grenade?
to go as the engine revs up,
No.
and
Boom
once
grenade's just that
more,
good, it
Vare
stays.
7s reaches maximum velocity. Blood in the water.
Oh!
Oh!
The grenade will connect.
You
Oh
saw,
my God.
I think for a moment thought maybe he lived, and then he's like, wait a minute, that's not how math works.
Oh my God. That was tough to watch. That felt like a classic Fang game. Unlucky. Yeah, win the be better at rolling dice, I guess. That's the only takeaway from that game I got.
It's just funny to think about how this game is completely different if you just win the dice roll.
Mhm.
Sometimes you just do lose at dice roll.
I'm glad that I get to play draw all Sunday.
If only
And-
if only Fang had just cut a little deeper or a little less deep in there, and it's a completely different game. If he just shuffled one more time.
Honestly, I think that loot the hold was like kind of a big deal too, because he also
I agree.
probably connects on that turn, so he has one more gold, and just having one more
Oh,
gold now it's a
yeah.
different game as well.
Agreed. Yeah, I think you gotta loot the hold that. I think it's interesting to ask if it's gonna come for 8 or 10 though. 8's a lot easier to block. Not really.
I'm gonna
It's
ask
still
him. I'm curious
2
what
cards.
his reasoning is.
Are there any more games?
No, they don't put gravy on stream anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't it pretty gravy light? Unfortunately.
They had one gravy game day 1, one gravy game day 2. Playing gravy now just feels so bad with all the shit hands, but sometimes you win the game in the end. But enjoyment has gone down, made me consider other decks for real. Yeah, I think gravy post ban was my favorite Fab deck ever, and up there with one of my favorite all-time card game decks ever.
Pre-ban?
And now it's so much lower. What was that, Cody?
Is it pre-ban?
Pre-ban.
Okay.
Pre-ban, I liked Blasphemy. I enjoyed Gravy more than OG Prism.
You did enjoy gravy more than OG Prison. You'd said that to me before they
Like-
banned.
I don't think it's possible for me to give higher praise than that. I think the only other deck that's up there for me of like enjoyment level of playing this deck in like other card games would have been Rakdos Luris in Historic forever ago. That deck was pretty enjoyable to play. That was like my favorite Magic deck. It was like the first Magic deck in a really long time of that style of grind. It felt like you used to play Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Yes, it did.
Do you remember back in the day for in Yu-Gi-Oh, a lot of the games just came down to like trying to +1 your opponent a bunch of times?
That was the whole game. It was great.
That's what that deck was. You were just trying to +1 your opponent over and over and over again. And for the longest time, Magic decks just didn't operate on that axis. Either I'm just trying to Zerg you, or I'm just going to play a card advantage engine card that invalidates all the previous card advantage of the game. Like,
Yeah.
that's cute that you got +1 on me 3 times, but I'm going to cast a Sphinx's Revelation for 7.
Yeah, I played gadgets a lot in Yu-Gi-Oh. So I was all
Yeah,
about the +1.
this deck felt very reminiscent of that. Are you familiar with Luris?
I'm not.
Are you familiar with the companion mechanic?
That got banned? Yes.
Yes. Luris was a black-white companion that cost 3 to play, and it restricted your deck to only containing cards with 2 CMC or less. And then he was a 3/2 with lifelink that said once per turn you can cast a spell from your graveyard with 2 CMC or less. And
I
then
see.
all the spells that you cast were either 1-for-1s or 2-for-1s.
Okay, makes sense.
And then you played like a bunch of like discard and stuff to simplify the game down, so we're both top decking. But then my top
Yeah, but you have
decks
an extra
are
hand because you're
yeah.
You
It
also
was
have an
pretty
extra
good.
hand in your graveyard, right? Yeah.
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 They would eventually kill the Luris, and then that would stop. But you also get the card advantage of I got to start the game with a companion, so I just have an 8-card can from the jump.
Mhm.
All right, I got a little bit before I was gonna go play with Shane. Um, you want to finally start yapping about things?
Yeah, we can yap about things.
Do you want to do
Some
face
things
cam while we
happened.
do this?
Yeah. You can face cam me up.
One sec.
I gotta pull. I'm gonna pull up the ranting.
You have a thing written down already for ranting?
No, I want to pull up the article. Formatting article. It's super skinny and hard to read on a computer. Made obviously for mobile for some reason.
All right, this is like slightly
The new
scuffed
website
looking, but
design's so
whatever.
lazy.
Which one are we ranting about first? Rewind.
Well, there's only one to rant about. They fixed. Okay, let's do rewind real quick because they fixed it. Joshua came in and told the judges. They slapped the judges and said, "Knock it off."
Let me pull up the picture just so chat can see what it was. Can you explain to them what the rewind thing was that everyone was freaking out about?
Yeah, so essentially the judges ruled that rewind target part, it says target like non-attack action. As long as you could target a non-attack action, the negate part will fail, but then do the rest of the card. And do the rest of the card is bounce that non-attack action to the hand of the owner and give them an action point. So essentially what that meant is that you could target a non-attack action on the block and bounce it back to their hand because the negate part would just fail, and then you do the rest of the card, which is bounce back to the hand. You could also like bounce your own stuff back, like a tree or ring, and get an action point. The biggest one was bounce Gravy's allies, even when they're just sitting on the board because they're non-attack actions, so you can target it. You just bounce it back to their hand. You can do it mid-swing. So it like completely invalidated how the card was supposed to be played, and essentially it was do whatever you want to do. So if you've been on Twitter at all, then you've seen I ranted about it. A bunch of people were ranting about it. Luckily, Joshua showed up and basically slapped all of the judges and said, "Knock it off. The card was not meant to do this. It does not do this." Yes,
Apparently,
maybe in the rules it says that you can, but we're not living in this world.
apparently, if it was ruled that way, that yeah, we go by this. Paul, one of the judges in there, was talking about how if this is the case, then Ancestral Harmony infinitely loops by itself also, because you could just keep, based on the wording of the card, just keep replaying the banished card over and over and over again. I might have switched decks for tomorrow if that was the case. Let me just play like Whispers of the Oracle and Eye of Ophidia and a Ninja deck and just guarantee any card off the top of my deck.
That's funny.
Yeah, 2 Runaways podcasts this week. Yeah, that was ridiculous. I was crashing out pretty hard from that potentially being the case, being like, this has to immediately be addressed or errata'd, otherwise this shit is fucking unplayable. There's no way this makes it to the weekend. But yeah, they
no.
that was like 3 stressful hours of, oh no, is my deck fucked?
Yeah, I almost played Verdance this weekend. If this didn't get addressed immediately, there was a good chance I was playing Verdance just to abuse Rewind, so that I could scoop in the finals, because I'm not allowed to win the Pro Quest.
Let's not rant about that one right now, though. Okay, what was the rest? It was the LL changes, and there was something else.
I think it was mainly just the LL and the article, the way the article was written.
Yeah, I was talking to Cody after the podcast about this, being like, man, I wish I was on the pod this week. I was for chat. I was originally supposed to be on the pod, and then I remembered I had coaching at the same time. I was like, oh fuck, I have to do that instead. But yeah, there's like a section or 2 in the article that were just so like, what the fuck? Like, one section seemed to imply that they did plan on making changes right before the event. Like in that 10-day before BNR, they were planning on making widespread changes, and then kind of had the comment of, we're surprised that players don't want massive changes to a format right before an event. We thought you guys would like that, but I guess we won't do that. It was just like, oh, man, what is this tone that's being used on these types of things? It really reminds me of the tone that was used when they were talking about the CYB ban, being like, we thought you guys would adjust to CYB, but I guess not. I guess we'll ban this card.
No. I mean, I agree with everything you said. I hadn't read the article when we did the podcast. And then I read it yesterday, and I said, oh man, I really wish I had read this before we did the podcast, but I was pretty busy. But reading this, I was just like super infuriated. I mean, just like almost at the beginning of the thing, it's just like, however, since we initially published the date of our intended ban and restricted window, a few things have changed. First, the sample size of living legend data that we would be able to analyze is smaller than we initially anticipated. And it's like, how did you not anticipate that the data would be small? You control the events.
Yeah, if only there was someone that could schedule more events. Like, maybe they should get in contact with those people.
We thought there would be more events, but we forgot that we didn't schedule any. Is essentially what they're saying. That, like, if you reword it into real life, they said, we thought we would have more data, then we realized we didn't schedule any LL events. Okay, perfect. That's a perfect sentence.
I will say, for whatever reason, this one felt more word soupy than normal. There's like a couple sections that I had to like reread a couple times because I'm like, what the fuck are you actually trying to say in this sentence? But maybe that's just me being stupid.
Yeah, I agreed with you there. So the other thing was that they were like, Rune Blades have taken this invitation to heart as of late and have been living their best lives at the top of the format.
I just remembered
Sir,
the other
can
thing.
Can you show me where Rune Blades have been dominating LL? Can you point on the doll where the Rune Blade has been doing this at all? Like, I don't understand. Like, they won one event. The Viserai like showed up to an event that doesn't matter and won. That's it.
Okay, we both keep talking about this of events not mattering. I think we should like qualify that a bit better. Sure. I've said this before, where they what I wanted them to do, ideally, if you're watching LSS, this is I think how you set this up to be a bit better. You have the previous BNR. It comes out. We all get mad that Tipple's banned. Whatever. We move on with life. You then schedule some real LL events, which we'll qualify in a second. Some callings. Then you schedule another BNR instead of having an emergency one that's unannounced. Then you have your ProQuest season. Then you have a safety BNR at the very end of the season just in case you missed something, but the intent is not to use that. By real events, it's like you got to make sure the carrot is good enough for people to actually bring decks that, there's actually money on the line here. It's worth me bringing the good stuff. These battle hardens, the carrot's not good enough. Why would I bring my deck that I think has a shot of top 8ing Worlds or doing well at Worlds and showing it off at a battle harden where I'm going to lose money topping? Like, I have no incentive to actually bring a good deck to this event. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, and worse, they're tacked on battle hardens. They're not even like travel to battle harden. If it was like standalone LL battle harden, then maybe that data would be a little bit better. And we had like one of those, I believe. But for the most, they're tagged on battle hardens on that are actually a part of a calling. So people prepped, they went to the calling, they didn't make day 2 or whatever for the calling, and they decided I will just play my battle hardened deck. And sometimes that was a Riptide that they had played the previous day. Like that's what I mean by the tournaments aren't real. No one brought a good prepped LL deck, and they all sat in the LL meta and played the games.
I will say,
They
props to
brought
that Riptide.
Riptide.
Props to that Riptide.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I
back
agree.
to backing. Good for him. Good for him. But like, I think we all know that's like kind of a joke.
Yeah, in LL, it's definitely a joke. Like, I don't know. And then like Viserai wins one event, one battle harden, and immediately get out of here.
I mean, my
Runeblades have been
headcanon,
living their best life.
okay, my headcanon is that it's not actually the Viserai. I originally thought it was Ethan, but he's no longer here. I think we have a mole on the team. Because Dan was going to play Chain, and they went, nah, I can't let that happen. Get that out of here.
It's gotta be. It's whatever Dan's
Whatever.
gonna play gets nerfed.
Yeah. He started looking at Gravy stuff, and I was like, please, Dan, don't. I don't want to change my deck 10 base before Worlds. Go play something else. Oh, no. I remember the other thing, though, where I was like, oh, there's like a third thing. It was, I don't know if you wanted to talk about this at all, but I thought it was kind of interesting. The No More Blitz format.
Yeah, I'm down. I hate that format.
I also hate that format. I think it's kind of silly just like getting rid of the format. It felt like they didn't make a good effort trying to fix the format and making it palatable to people, and just kind of said fuck it and made Silver Age instead.
I think the format's inherently busted because it's just CC cards with half as much health. So this makes no sense. Like the format really doesn't need to exist. And if you want a format in that shape, then I think Silver Age is what you want it to be, and what we were asking for previously anyway. So
I think
I'm just happy it's gone.
You can make the same argument for LL though. It's inherently broken.
Oh, I think. This is not
like,
a real format anymore.
Like what you were talking about on the pod the other day of maybe you made like a joke about they'll make the format so bad or make us so unhappy that we won't want to play it anymore. So then they'll give us Silver Age. I kind of had the same feeling about Blitz, where it's like we'll just make them unhappy about Blitz, so that way they have to play the other thing.
I mean, to be fair, Silver Age is just Blitz that's getting fixed. If you like Blitz, you should like Silver Age. I don't understand.
I haven't played it, so I don't have an opinion on that.
Yeah, I mean, you have less health, but you just don't have all the busted Majestics. You're hopefully not getting OTK'd right away. Like the game's
but that's not the same thing.
Turns.
But that's not the same thing then.
Yeah, but no one wants to play 2 turns OTK. Well, and the people who do, they can like, I don't know. That's not what this game's about. That's why people don't like Blitz.
I think the target demo for Blitz is supposed to be like an entry point for getting into the game where it's fun and exciting and it feels like anyone can win.
I mean, we'll see if Silver Age is that way. I would have to actually spend time on it.
I don't think that's what
to know that.
Silver Age is, because it's basically Commoner, right? It's like slightly dialed up Commoner.
Should be.
So like you're essentially playing like fair games, air quotes.
Yeah, but getting rares is a pretty big deal.
I just I think Blitz was a good entry point for new players, because also like new players are going to want to do exciting, fun things, play with their cool cards. Telling them that they can't play with their cool cards is kind of off-putting to the new player. And then we tell them, well, if you do want to play with the cool cards, go play Classic Constructed, but it's going to cost you over $1,000. It's like, okay, fuck this game.
Well, now we're talking about different issues here. Like, I think you should just start with CC. I think the entry point to the game is CC.
I don't think
it's
CC
like
is
an
actually
armory
a good
deck.
entry point.
I think it is. I think on armory decks are a great entry point to the game. Obviously, they've been making, man, they have to repackage their armory decks now because they're packaged as blitz decks. That's so funny. Wait, how did they not know this ahead of time? Wait, why are
Wait,
there? Hold on. Roll it back roll back the tape. How did they not know this? They're packaging their armory decks because you buy it, like you open it up, the first half is the blitz deck, and then they have like the extra cards to make it CC legal on the back. It's like, and then they
is
get rid of blitz.
is the Pleiades deck like
That's
that?
funny. Yes.
What?
I'm fairly certain. Let me go check. Give me 1 second. It's right next
Sure.
to me.
Okay, while he's doing that, I'm going to adjust this real quick so he can also see my face.
Yep. It is that way. I have it right here. Here's the blitz deck list and the CC deck list. And it's separated.
So this is either people aren't communicating with each other internally, or this is a very short notice decision.
Or this is a very short notice decision.
So like,
or this Pleiades deck was made a really long time ago.
Sure.
That's the other explanation. It could be like a 2-year-old product for all we know.
So my reasoning for saying I don't think CC is a good entry point to the game is because of how like hard Fab is and how skill based it is. I think when you start playing the game with CC, you're just going to get your shit kicked in for a really long time and just like not really win games. And you're going to get kind of off put from playing the game. So it's like a different problem than the other formats of starting, where when you start with something like Blitz, it is a anyone can win kind of format. So it kind of gives you hope that I can like actually have fun and play this game and win. And that is not like a concern for people like us. But I think for a lot of people that try out card games or are new to card games, like you can't expect someone to sit down for like 2 months straight and just not win games. And that's kind of the experience with CC for some people. Unless they're playing against other really shitty people. But they have to be like pretty bad.
Sure, if you're making the argument from that angle, Blitz is definitely better for getting games, but Blitz is not a store supported. There's nowhere to play Blitz. So are you arguing that armories should be Blitz? Because I feel like new players should be going to armories.
I think my
And you're gonna play
argument is
CC.
that instead of Scorched Earth, Kill Blitz replaced with Silver Age, it's restructure like the image of Blitz to be a casual format that's supported by stores as an entry point for players.
But can't Silver Age just be a better entry point for players that allows them to probably win some games while investing like $0 into actually buying decks? So if Silver Age is actually supported, then it's going to cost no dollars to play the format.
I think it does have that merit, and that's a good thing. But if you think about it like from a psychological standpoint of person trying to get into game, they're going to get into the game and go, I want to play the cool fun things, not this grindy common soup. Because a lot of people like go, I want to play with what the other people are playing. And like this is more of a they need to make sure the format's supported, so like this would solve itself. But a lot of people also go, well, I want to play what the other people are playing, which you could say is also a problem with the Blitz and Classic Constructed. People would still do that with in the old system. Go, no one's playing Blitz. I'm gonna go play Classic Constructed because that's what all my friends are playing.
Yeah.
So like Silver Age doesn't make that worse or make that better. It's just kind of the same problem. I think all of those types of formats need to have something figured out for entry point things to the game with the new player experience in mind. And I just don't see Silver Age being that like onboarding process to the game that they probably want it to be.
It does make their armory decks harder to construct going forward if they want them usable in both formats.
Also true, but they could just sell like you know the Blitz decks that they used to sell that were basically Silver Age decks because it was like one poop soup
Yeah, yeah.
majestic. It's like the same thing. They just make those.
I mean, no one's gonna buy. Well, no one should buy them if they're just commons and rares. It's like all $5. Every deck is $5. Congrats.
Yeah, I don't have the solution to this problem. I'm not gonna sit here and
At
be
this
like, I know
point,
better.
though,
I'm
at
just
this point,
identifying
I
a
think
problem.
I'd rather play Silver Age at Worlds, I think, than LL. So they're winning. They've won the battle. They've got me. I can play Chain in Silver Age. So, and there's no Warmongers.
Wait, you can dirge your shackle? You can turn one dirge your shackle?
Yep.
I watched your chain thing the other night.
Yeah.
You were going to look back and go, I'm never going to make this mistake again. That was good content.
Yeah, I don't think you mean the masterclass that I put out?
Yeah.
On the
Feel free to
Metafy?
plug.
Yeah. I wish it was very frustrating. I put this out and then they're like, let's nerf Chain. So I gotta figure out if I can make them playable again. But no, there is a ban list, right? There's like a ban or restricted list in Silver Age.
I don't know that much about Silver Age. I just know
Yeah,
that
pretty
it's
sure
like
there is.
basically commoner plus. Beyond that, I don't know. I also don't particularly care. Like I don't give a shit about this format until they tell me I should give a shit about it. But that's no different than Blitz. Like I wasn't the target audience for Blitz, and I don't care about this until they give me a reason to. So like you start giving me
Yep.
events for this, I'll care. But like I'm probably not going to go to a calling for this. I don't give a shit. So that would just be like another lore book. Like you give me a battle hardened with a prism statue. Okay, I'll give a shit. I'll figure it out. I got to get that statue.
Don't worry, it'll be part of Worlds next year.
I mean, at this rate, I don't know if I'll go to Worlds next year, but that's a different thing. Yeah, I've been for people that are unaware, I've been pretty frustrated with Fab over the past year with a lot of the decision making. So it's like it's just making me feel like I don't want to take this game seriously with some of the decision making going on.
On the bright side, Joshua immediately resolved the issue because that was silliness.
Good on them.
Yeah.
But this should have never been an issue to begin with.
Oh, I agree.
Like, this was known about since Uprising, apparently.
I'm still suspicious that that's accurate.
Apparently there's threads about it in the Judge Hub about it already from like in the past. It just like didn't matter. So like I didn't fact check it. That could be not true, but like what are we doing? Like why are we doing this?
Yeah, but I still like the option of I like the ability to just say, look, we all know it's not supposed to work this way. It's just not going to work this way. Thank you. Thank you for being realistic.
Just
Thanks for being a
100%
person.
appreciate that. 100% appreciate that. I that and I appreciate the willingness to do an emergency ban list last week because the format was broken, and I appreciate them going, okay, we're not going to wait till the last minute to do the ban list. Let's just do it now. I appreciate that. My complaint is we should have never had to have had an emergency ban list to begin with. It should have been planned better from the jump.
Don't worry. I'm sure there'll be another ban list. I hope so anyway. I hope this is not the format I'm playing in.
Okay, here's a question from chat earlier before you joined. What would you hit out of Verdance?
I've been thinking about this, and I'm really not sure.
Also, do you think it's just the new card? This was like the actual question from earlier. Do you think it's just because the new card that Verdance spiked like she did? I made the argument that I think it could be because the average card quality of her deck has gone up by so much since Rosetta. She's got 6 more power cards. She's got more quality blues.
I think it's the new card because the new card makes tree good. That's my actual.
Yeah, so it's
argument.
almost like
just that
it's almost like she's got 9 new power cards then because of the tree.
Correct. It was pretty hard to run the tree before, and you almost never casted it, and you couldn't reliably draw a big spell to like play with it. So it was pretty frustrating. So now that you have like realistically 9 good spells to cast with it, because you have the 1-for-4 in your deck, a lot of the times. So now that you have 9 good spells to play with it, it's like pretty realistic. And also having 2 3 costs, like 2 sets of 3 costs, means that keeping it around an extra turn is pretty realistic as well. So you have like so much more reach than you had previously. So it makes tree a lot better. Your opponents are now taking more true damage. I really think they won't do it. Like I would just ban Striders. Like I don't think that the deck should be a Striders deck. That doesn't seem to be how it should be operating. It should be like a value arcane-ish deck that shouldn't be a whole turn ahead where they're throwing big attacks at you like a felling, and then on the next turn you have to worry about boots. In some formats, the boots don't matter because the faster decks or the better decks can get 8 points in value ahead on the turn. But when the game is as powered down as it is right now, or equal in power, however you want to say it, being like roughly 8 points ahead of your opponent at the start of the game because of your boot choice is pretty detrimental to the whole format as a whole. So if you want to like make the big change, that's the big change. If you want to do something smaller, everything else is just like, again, they'll probably just do something else and hurt their consistency, and then the deck will still feel the same most of the time, and then sometimes it's just awful. Because that's how most of the bands
work. How do we make them hate their experience playing the game as much as possible?
Yeah.
I was saying I could see maybe them going for Waning Moon instead. That kind of accomplishes a similar thing of making Striders worse.
Yeah, I think that's not bad either. It might actually just buff them all because quite often the other weapon's better. But it might be like banning the helmet just made all the decks better. Can you just give them helmet back? That's a joke. But don't actually give them helmet back.
Give them helmet back, but give us Tipple back. Deal. Yeah, I was saying this back when Icelander first LL'd, kind of similar to the Crown of Seats thing, being like, okay, now that this is gone, can we just get rid of Striders? Like,
yeah,
nothing is actually playing this that matters right now. And Kano's like an ignorant deck. If you're not going to actually do something about Kano, then like just get rid of Striders too. And
I think
no one's wallets are hurt by this right now because no one's playing anything that matters for Striders. Like this is going to nothing. Now's a good time to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna say?
Hopefully Kano goes away. I was gonna say a good example is like when we were prepping the Prism versus Verdance match. And the only way you really lost this Prism is if they just like treed you and then threw a bunch of big spells. But now they can like always do that in every match. That's why the deck's different.
Yeah. So your votes, Striders. Is there any like cheapo card that you would go for? I can't think of an Autumn's Touch version card or a Tipple card.
So there's some really soft hits that you could do, but then you're giving all you're trying to do is like make certain type of matchups better. So like if you get rid of Bloom, that's the one that cycles a card back, the split card. If you get rid of that, then their fatigue matchup is infinitely worse. especially their surprising fatigue, because they can quite often win fatigue matches by their base build by having that card and then just cycling big spells. But if they never get to cycle big spells ever again, then a lot of their like pseudo fatigue matches get harder. I don't think that's the right angle to go, but you could do something like that. Just straight up banning big spells again is just like, I don't think a thing that they'll do. I think they want them to have these big spells. It's pretty hard. It's pretty hard to touch anything because it's mainly just good Earth cards. But surely they're going to just ban Autumn's Touch again and move on.
Yeah, I was talking about this earlier where it's like, what do you even hit out of the deck? But also, how do you even target this deck? It's so like, everything's kind of, it's just a value soup deck. There's no like silver bullety things that you can really do against this deck, which is, I think, what's kind of hurting a lot of other decks.
Yeah, the issue is you can't, there's nothing you can put in your deck to just make your matchup into Verdance better. Not that I found yet. There are ways to tune certain decks, but there's no generic like I'm gonna put a race face in my deck to make this matchup better. Like that's just not a thing that you can do.
Play Gravekeeping to get rid of your allies or something like that, or
Yeah,
like it just, yeah, there's just no good
it's
silver bullet.
the closest silver bullet that exists. IMO is Skullcap. As funny as that sounds, like it's kind of like that might actually make your matchup better sometimes.
Parched Terrain is probably the actual closest.
Yeah, I mean if you can run that, that's not a generic card, right?
Ugh, my kingdom for a Draconic Illusionist.
Oh, I think they had one of those.
Gravy's gonna LL before we get new Dromai.
I mean, they still haven't given new Icelander back, unless that's Verdance.
I think that was supposed to be Verdance.
Maybe.
Hopefully we get new Lexi in the next year. Like they do Rosetta 3 and it's the lightning ice side.
Yeah, it's Marlin. That's the new Lexi.
No, that one you can't say because Icelander was elemental wizard. The essence isn't a part of the hero subtyping.
Fair.
And the way that the Living Legend reprint thing works is a hero of the same class talent. They never said anything about essence. Pirate Ranger is not Elemental Ranger. So we still are owed an Elemental Ranger. No, that's the Azalea replacement.
It is definitely the Azalea replacement.
Okay. Anything else you want to yap about on this?
No, it was going to be a lot harsher until Joshua really saved it. He really came out and saved the day. It was going to be a bad one. It was just like an hour straight of just the things you can do with this card.
Let me route your blocking non-attack on my Command and Conquer.
All the Verdance lines you could do where you're like bouncing tree back, getting an action point, playing a felling. It's like phenomenal.
Yeah, let me activate my tree, bounce my tree, replay the tree, play a 3 for 6, staff you. Okay, I guess I take 12. Like, so unreasonable. Okay. I think that's
I guess
it
we
for
should
stream.
go practice for Worlds.
Yeah, I probably should do that. Should probably bug Shane. I
Yeah.
don't see him in the thing. Worst case,
Let's
we
go
practice
practice for
Verdance.
Worlds.
All right. Goodbye. Goodbye, chat. Goodbye, stream.